what's just come out about the Blue Origin thing is absolutely blowing my mind and is like completely wild, man. There is so much divide about this, and I think that it is absolutely crazy. We've got potentially fake, it didn't happen, CGI, AI, we've got the backed by the devil, we've got UFOs. It's absolutely wild, man. Because my gut instinct originally was like, oh cool, 6 rich chicks went up into space and back again. Happy days. So to give you a bit of an understanding of what's going on here, on the 14th of April 2025, only a couple of days ago, Blue Origin launched their 31st mission, okay, called the New Shepard, and it was to go to the edge of space, literally just outside our atmosphere, and they took 6 rich chicks, okay, one of them being Katy Perry. It was Katy Perry, Lauren Sanchez, Gail King, Asia Bow, Amanda Guyon, and Karine Flynn. If I got any of their names wrong, sorry, like whatever. The actual part of space they went to was called the Kármán line, which is literally, like I say, just on the edge of space, which gave them about 3 or 4 minutes of weightlessness. Now, and then they came down. So the whole mission itself took 10 minutes, 21 seconds from launch to orbit, sort of orbit, and then back again, okay? So let's have a little look at why people think this is fake. We're going to debunk this thing on TikTok that says, like, he's not budging. This looks fake as hell, okay? And what he did come the end, he put the footage through Hive. It's basically a program that spots to see if something AI generated.
And they also have a photo version of this. It's called Photo Forensics. And I love this software. I love it. How many of you guys are familiar with Hive? How many of you nerds out there are familiar with photo forensics? Man, we gonna have fun today. Let's play the video.
It gives you a percentage of the possibility of it being AI generated, okay? Let's listen to, or let's have a little look at this. And what he did come the end, he put the footage through Hive. It's basically a program that spots to see if something AI generated. It gives you a percentage of the possibility of it being AI generated, okay? Let's listen to, or let's have a little look at this.
How fake does this look? I mean, that looks like it was done by a GCSE student at lunchtime. Look how terrible that is. Look at that. Anyway, this is what Hive AI moderation said. Did it detect any AI? Yep.
So he's saying that Hive generated it, and it come out with 77.4% likely to be AI. Now,
come on, people. Now, let me tell you something. We're in a... I'm gonna just break some down to y'all. What's so crazy about the time we living in? We're living in a time of deep fakes. It's very hard to tell what's real from what's fake. And because of that, you have these geniuses that's capitalizing off of these problems. And the problem is, it's hard to find out what's real and from what's fake. So because of that, you got a lot of nerds that's saying, hey, that's a way we can make money. We can create software that help people determine what's real and what's fake. Hive is one of those softwares. It reads it, it lets people know, right? If something has been manipulated with artificial intelligence. There is actually a photo form of this called photo forensics. I love it to death because you put a photo in it and it'll let you know if that photo has been edited in any forms with Photoshop, any forms of CGI software. Does a good job at it. You can also upload that photo under different forms of saturation to actually see any edits at certain points as well. So very awesome, very awesome. What I have to say about this is that in a time where we don't know what's real from fake, you can know. You don't have to be deceived. But what you will find out is that some people want to be deceived. So even though we got technology that everyone can use to figure out this stuff, no one does it because they want to believe in the bull crap. We do have challengers on the line, or should I say a challenger by the name of Brenda. And if you guys are familiar with Brenda, drop a 1 in the chat room if you are familiar with a challenger, a known challenger called Brenda. Let me do this. We're gonna have some, man, we're gonna tear this thing up. We're gonna tear this thing up today. Let's see how many of y'all familiar with Brenda, and we're gonna have to get Brenda voted on. Not every callers are treated equally. Some callers are slyway trolls, and if the people want that, you know, I don't know what to tell y'all. It's just, do we want Brenda on? I mean, it can potentially change the energy and mess up the vibe, and sometimes ruin the show. Every challenger I'm just not that thirsty for a debate to the point where I'm gonna deal with anyone. So I'll let you guys decide. I'll do whatever you guys want me to do, because after all, I do it for y'all, and you guys are supporting the show. So salutes to my audience, to every viewer and every subscriber. And shout out to DL. Said, hey, bro, is Bezos' partner with all the plastic surgery actually a feller? I think that these elites might be forcing these dudes to date fellers as some sort of ritual. What do you reckon? There's a lot of information to support that. That's just not my lane, because every time I get out of my lane and try to deal with that, people say I'm tripping, right? They'll say, ain't no way you saying Jay-Z is a woman and Beyonce is a man. I'd be like, that ain't what I'm saying. That's what they're saying. The people who specialize in the gender thing in Hollywood, yeah, they say all of the men are basically women. All the women are men. And when I try to do it, I don't have the kind of crowd that cling to that. And I tried it. I've tried that. I didn't take a side on it, but I've tried to have those conversations on my platforms. And my people just, I don't know. If maybe I ought to do a show in 2025 and see where we at with it. But yeah, it's a different lane than what I normally go in. But I'm not gonna take nothing off the table, because Hollywood is really Holly weird, if you know what I mean. Right. Everyone like and share the video. This is gonna be a classic, powerful stream. Shout out to D. Allen Warren, Flat Power. Thank you for your support. And shout out to Marlon Wells. My brother Marlon Wells, thank you for being a member, man. Shout out to DL. And again, shout out to everyone that's sending in the super chats. D. Allen Warren, I don't think I shouted you out. Thank you. And let me welcome my new members, because guess what? We got 4 new members. Let's clap it up. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Shout out to One Hun, Skr, Evolve with K, and shout out to Charles Patrick. Welcome aboard to the family. Shout out to all my Patreons and channel members. Let's get back to this. What we're doing now, we're sharing a video from a guy by the name of Casper Site, and I'm subbed to his channel as of this week. Ever since the Blue Origin thing, he's been doing a good job of covering it as well. So I want to give him some props. And a buddy of his ran the Blue Origin footage through a software that I wasn't even familiar with. And that software is able to let us know if this is artificial intelligence. Give you percentages of the chance of whether it was manipulated, whether it's AI or not. Again, we do live in a time of deep fakes, so we should be thankful of this kind of technology. And another one I want to shout out is photo forensics. It's great technology for the times that we live in. Can't stress it enough. I'm surprised that this stuff is free. The fact that it's free, well, you know, it's different levels and stuff with pricing, but excellent software, man. Let's play the video. I want to run this back because we getting new people in, and this is such a dagger, man. Let's play it again.
A program that spots to see if something's AI generated. It gives you percentage of the possibility of it being AI generated. Okay, let's listen to, or let's have a little look at this.
How fake does this look? I mean, that looks like it was done by a GC.
I remember watching this with everyone. Who was here? We watched this together. I reacted with you guys. And it was called Space BITCH Debunk. Space Bitches Debunk. Okay. And we tore it up then, but there's so much new stuff coming out now. And I'm realizing that the young kids on TikTok is having their own awakening movement. That's right. I won't be surprised if they start censoring that like they did us with YouTube. But I remember when we first ran this bean footage, we said the same thing. It damn near looked like Minecraft, man. Anyone that's looking at this and saying, oh yeah, that's real, they're fake, okay? But I'm gonna put this on a big screen so you can see just how fake that footage actually looked, and we're gonna let it play on out this time.
It's basically a program that spots to see if something's AI generated. It gives you percentage of the possibility of it being AI generated, okay? Let's listen to, or let's have a little look at this.
Raccoon people are tired of being lied to, and I'm so happy because I was giving up hope on the world. Drop a one if you was giving up hope on the world too. Because I'm going to say one thing. The Blue Origins phenomena has given me a lot of motivation back that the world ain't stupid. But I'm concerned that this may turn into a psyop for them to say, well, it was fake. And it's disrespectful to real space programs. You see what I'm saying? I think this should be a time where everyone question the legitimacy of all space programs versus shit on one, because that would mean we fell for the psyop. But I think most of y'all feel like me. It was, I can't lie, it's motivational to see everyone say that's bullshit. I gotta drop a bomb for the world. We often criticize the masses and we say how collectively dumb the sheeple are. And they are. But they got this one right. That's a glimmer of hope, ladies and gentlemen. That's a glimmer of hope.
This.
How fake does this look? I mean, that looks like it was done by a GCSE student at lunchtime. Look how terrible that is. Look at that.
Very terrible. And I always say about these landings, do you know how fake it'll look to land that thing when it's near the ground and make it not look CGI? Because the fire interacting with the ground would definitely burn the concrete. But I'm gonna let you know how all of it fake. When the smoke clear, the rocket is perfectly in place. Like it's so fake, man. Like
anyway, this is what Hive.
Like when the smoke clears, it's a perfectly clean runway. No burn marks right there. Look, you got all of that fire just contacting the cement. You have all of the fire from the rocket. It's literally burning and scorching the ground. And when the smoke clears, the ground ain't burnt, y'all. The ground look perfectly fine. And I'll get the original video of this landing in a minute. I don't want to stop this too much. But yeah, we're going to go over that and show you that.
Done by a GCSE student at lunchtime. Look how terrible that is. Look at that. Anyway, this is what Hive AI moderation said. Did it detect any AI? Yep.
So he's saying that Hive generated it, and it came out with 77.4% likely to be AI. Now, given I don't know which parts of that he ran through. However, I did it myself. I thought, okay, well, let me try it myself. I showed this part here because you can only do 20 seconds. You can only upload 20 seconds of this. Unless you have the account, I would imagine you can have more. But let me tell you, 20 seconds takes ages, right, for it to analyze. This is what I put in Hive, okay? What he thinks is fake, right? I put in that 4.4% not likely to contain AI generated or deep fake content. Now, I'm imagining the 4.4% was maybe the subtitles that were coming up. So that clip in there says it's not. And I gotta be honest with you, it didn't seem fake to me. I don't know what he was talking.
It seemed fake as hell to me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This video footage seems really fake to me. It looks fake to me. Like, it looks not authentic to the eye. It just look really, really fake.
Okay, what he
looks slyway, computerish. You know, is it just me? It looked definitely computerish to me.
thinks is fake, right? I put in.
And so they ran it and it said that it was 70% fake, but then he tried it on another one. It said not fake. So you can take that.
To me, I don't know what he was talking. It didn't seem fake, but I thought, okay, well, let's try the landing then, right? So I did part which I got to be honest did seem a little bit more on the fake side.
They both seem fake to me.
All right, which was this one here.
Now you know damn what that's just laughable. Hey man, a flight simulator look better than that, son.
Right, that one there. This is what I ran through to see if that was fake. And that one came at 0.9%. 0.9%. Maybe it's because there was less subtitles flicking up on that one. I'm not too sure. But that one came at 0.
Because it's not going to say that the subtitles are fake. Like, we need a video with no subtitles.
9%. So less than 1%, right? So I took the part which I thought
Bezos and Musk are fumbling NASA's lies. Facts. Thank you for the support.
Would have been more AI generated.
Deep in the rabbit hole, I have a video of another Blue Origin launch where the top of the rocket glitches out. How can I send you the file? Send me the link to my email. It's talktobrosanchez@gmail.com. Send it to my Gmail and I'll play it right now and review this right now. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I'll hit the link. Yeah, send me the link to your video. But this is definitely fake, and if anyone think that is not, the link to join my call is pinned to the top. I'm open ears. Now, what I'm not gonna allow for is disrespect and name calling. I got the right to say that it looked fake to me and to present my alternative arguments. All right, so if you guys want to come up and make any corrections, or maybe if I'm saying it wrong or anything like that, I don't know everything, but I do know, far as my research as of now, space is fake and the earth is flat. That's right. We're going to get back to this video. And yeah, my bad, I hit the wrong button there. There we go.
Okay, of the hair flowing and things like that, which was this clip here. I took that. I thought if anything's going to be AI generated, maybe it's that one. Okay. So I ran.
Yeah, David Weiss, man, I'm gonna check that out because everyone is blowing the lid on this. It's crazy because it's like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, even big outlets are like, it's fake. Think even like, I really, you know, what's really funny, man, I'm gonna be honest, what's funny, right? Somebody asked this question, they're like, where the hell is Neil deGrasse Tyson right now? Where is Neil deGrasse Tyson when space needs him? Right?
And that one through. 0%. Like, 0%.
So this website ain't consistent, but me personally, I think it's fake. But I wanted y'all to see that part too. All right. And then there's another theory about the hand. And everybody talking about the fake hand. And we're going to talk about the fake hand because that is not part of the trip that they went on. That some of this stuff, they leak it out there to throw y'all off and to, right, they'll leak it out there to embarrass y'all with it later. So everybody's showing the fake doll hand, the little mannequin hand. That's from another mission. That wasn't the all-women flight. And they want people to bite on that so they can come and blow the lid on that later. Shout out to DL. Welcome to Sacred God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In 1961, a chimpanzee trained harder than Katy Perry. That's crazy. A chimpanzee trained harder than Katy Perry for space. You can't make it up. Watch.
31 mission. It's been almost a week since the NS-31 mission, or the famous Katy Perry goes into space and becomes an astronaut flight. People cannot stop memeing on this and making fun of it, and I've even seen a lot of posts get traction that are saying that this was completely faked.
1, 2, 3, take it up space! Woo!
Now I know that if you follow my channel, you probably know that yes, in fact, it was real, but even those of you who are fans of space are still upset at how it was portrayed.
Now, of course, all of the reason I'm playing this video is because all of the space fanatics, like Alien Space, they're criticizing it, making fun of it too, but they're saying that it's real. So they're criticizing it, making fun of it, but they're saying that it's real though. You see what I'm saying? And the thing about that is that why criticize it if it's real? Because your only criticisms would be they was playing too much, they flipped around. That's what everybody's saying. Everybody is basically saying they was up there acting too pink powerish, if that's a word. They was up there acting like an inflatable or whatever, like it's a children's inflatable. And I made a video to say, well, that's hypocritical because the men do that too. Watch the video that I just uploaded about the PSYOP. Everybody that go to so-called space, they do the same thing. Flip around, play around. Just because the women was playing with dolls and flowers, so the men play with water bubbles and other toys. They have their little gadgets that they float around and toss around as well. So I don't get it. It's like a double standard. But people who are space fanatics, they're trying to change the narrative because the internet is saying that shit's fake. But the space fanatics are saying they misrepresented space travel. And I'm like, how? They was being themselves. How you want them to act? It's Katy Perry, it's Gayle King. That's right. You think when they get to space, they gonna become a different motherfucker? If they was an annoying pest on the ground, when you shoot their asses to the heavens, they still gonna be an annoying chicken head. I'm just saying. That's right. What, you expected her not to be Katy Perry at the Carmen line? Silly you. Space don't have that effect on people. I thought it just made them float. I didn't think it made them sane. Now check this out, people. If you're insane on the ground, flying up in the heavens ain't gonna all of a sudden give you your sanity back. That's right. In the case of Katy Perry, what y'all think was gonna happen? So, them criticizing Katy Perry and Gayle King for being who they are in space is a way to change the narrative from the fact that we ain't really criticizing them for just being Katy and Gayle. We criticizing a whole trip for being fake because that hatch door opened prematurely along with a lot of more other things. That's right. And the space fanatics don't want to admit that this is a L for space travel. The space fanatics don't want to admit that this is a L for space travel. They want to brush it off like, yeah, they was unprofessional. No, it was fake. You can't just blame this on Katie and Gail. I mean, it's just too many glitches in it to let us know it's fake, and we've been pointing them out. And I'm willing and prepared to re-point them out today and to be redundant for anyone who may have missed the previous videos we uploaded on this channel, man. So the fact that a chimpanzee in 1961 trained harder than Katy Perry is more ammunition to our gun. They prepared a chimp for space more than they prepared the Gayle King family. So that's two things right off the back that I wanted to point out. That the software said that it was fake 70%. And that a chimpanzee trained harder than everyone on this flight. All right, so hold on a second. Go to the next video clip, man. Oh, let me check the call lines, man. Anyone want to join right now? Hold on a second. We'll drop the link again. And I think I got that link from deep in the rabbit hole, so let me check my email. Okay. Let's check this out, y'all. How many movie edits can you count? This is deep in the rabbit holes video. It's gonna show the glitches. Edit 2. Edit 3. Edit 4. Now, that looked real crazy. Hold on. Edit 4 looked at, yeah, that was crazy. How did these joint turn from black to white like that mid-flight? That's a real glitch. Yo, that's a real glitch. Hold on. Wait a minute. Did y'all see that? Should I slow it down? That's a huge glitch. Wow, did y'all see? Listen, let me slow this down, Dave. I hope you don't mind me taking my time with this. This is crazy. I want to slow it down around this part. It's going to show stare at the rocket. What in the hell is that? It just, what happened? Now, what this shows is like there's another tip on the rocket right here. It seems as if there's a double rocket. If I take the frame back, that's not there. You see, there's one white tip, one clean white tip, and then what in the hell is this? A glitch. Just like the red car glitch. Let's keep it going. I like this speed. That is a compute. Wow! That's a CGI glitch. And it's so obvious at this speed that this is animated. This is like Minecraft right here, bro. This is like, as far as I'm concerned, this angle here. Yeah, this angle here is like Minecraft. This angle here is so laughable. It's like Minecraft. We got
What's up, bro?
How you doing, David Weiss? Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks. There's so much. Dude, anyone that thinks that this is a real rocket in any way, shape, or form just hasn't looked carefully. There's no smoke trail. What are they using? Butane to make this thing launch? And then if you look at the thrust, all of the smoke that's underneath it, it should be obliterated for like a half a mile. It should be pushed away. It just lollygags there underneath the rocket.
Facts. I didn't even think of that, y'all. That's facts. That smoke should be expanding outward, and it should be in a different pattern. I think it should be in more of a torus field pattern, like hitting the ground and spreading outward, like spraying a hose pipe on the ground, like sort of.
You ever watch when they do a truck or a bus behind a jet engine and it just goes flying in the air? That's like 300-mile-an-hour winds, right? This thing has 17,000-mile-an-hour winds, lifting up hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Right. And the smoke doesn't even move. The fence around the launch pads don't even wiggle. Right. When a tornado will rip a fence out of the ground and tie it into knots. Right. It's not even compare. But this is just a CGI rocket. There's nothing. This is even a miniature rocket. Like maybe there's people 10 miles away and they launch something up in the air, but that's not what we see on TV.
These are facts. You know, before I hit play on this, because I'm going to break this down. We got to stay with this footage for a minute right here. Yeah. It's a lot of questions I got for you. How long have we had this technology? Because something like this, it seems familiar from like September 11. Like, I kind of think there was no, planes.
There definitely wasn't any planes. I'll say that out loud.
Yeah, so, and I'm saying whatever they made the planes appear on a media with then, it's like they've enhanced this technology now, but they had it a while and people still falling for it. And that's what I see here.
Let me just since we're on that topic a little bit, I'll be careful what I say because I know we're on YouTube and they love the truth. Of all the helicopters in the sky on that day after the 10th in the September month, only one was able to film the second aircraft hitting the tall thing. And the guy on that aircraft was 5 miles away. He zoomed in, framed up the buildings, and that's when the aircraft hit, right? Yeah. That guy's name was Cy Symington. He is the guy that wrote the software and teaches the course on how to insert CGI aircraft into a live video feed. Let me say it again. He wrote the software and teaches the course on how to insert CGI aircraft into a live video feed. Is that crazy?
Because that was my next question for you, like how they incorporating this into the live broadcast and stuff. That is crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't know like if this was live. I don't know, like when they show it, we watched the moon landing live in the 60s and 70s, but it was filmed a year in advance. So what's really live?
And it kind of make me think the whole takeoff and landing, everything we seeing is CGI. But the real part is when they're going. See, Katy Perry did a video that was stupid because she gave a tour of the so-called practice capsule. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. And you can see the green screen stand outside.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
so
here's the other thing. Is it looks like a lot of the footage from this launch when they took William Shatner up there, that they're taking them up on the Vomit Comet, the zero-G plane, doing a whole bunch of parabolic arcs, and then they edit it all together. And if you watch all of the edits, they gave us like 40 seconds of Katy Perry floating in space, and there was 12 edits in that amount of time. Damn. And if you watch, people move like, wait a minute, those two just switched positions. That person was upside down a split second ago, and now they're over to the right, and everything moves because they didn't even do it well where everyone was in the same position for each arc. And it's just, these are impossible movements of people.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, think about this. They got no helmets. They got no training. Well, the training they had was to put their seatbelts on and climb in and out of the capsule. That was their training, right?
Basically.
Bro, if I had you in a van, we got a van, and I'm up on the top of the Empire State Building, and I put you in the van, and I threw the van off the Empire State Building, do you think you could find your way to your seat and get seatbelted in?
I wouldn't need help with that. I mean,
there's no way. They're free falling out of the sky. Free fall. Everyone, check out my channel. DITRH stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. And check out my Katy Perry video, the one that's very sexually. The thumbnail has the rocket and Katy screaming, the cartoon of her. It's a very funny video. It'll make you realize how absolutely ridiculous them floating around while they're free falling out of the sky. No man would even be able to handle it, that happening like that.
Right. That was one thing that I was peeping, like, you know, we had racers on the ground. I brought up the one guy that broke the record in the Black Rock Desert, 700 plus miles per hour. That man was saying how his body was just worn. You can read about it and all that. I'm like, how are they going 2,300 miles per hour and they ready to play around with flowers and stuff like that? You know, that was crazy. And you know what globalists was telling me? They was saying, Sanchez, you got it wrong. You dealing with speed, not acceleration. As long as you going in a straight line, you don't even feel that you going the speed of a bullet, which is crazy because I'm dealing with acceleration, because if they going from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour in 20 seconds, you'll be soup.
Yeah, they said that they experienced, was it 3 or 4 Gs? Between 3 and 4 Gs? That's a lot. Those here, I'd like to get those women and bring them to Great Adventure and put them on the Pitfall ride, just where they're dropping 200, 300 feet. I don't think they could even handle that.
Right, because 4 Gs mean that's 4 times your body weight. And I'm not trying to shame or anything, but come on, Gail King weighs at least 200 and something. Now, times 4. She's feeling that on the way up for at least 3 minutes. And when she unbuckle her seatbelt, she's not ready to play around. You ready to, do y'all understand? You're not ready to play around after you felt 4 Gs. See, and for people who don't really, if you don't wrap your head around that or imagine, like, okay, times your body weight time 4. This is what she felt. Yeah, man, this would harm nerves and all of that.
Right. And then one more thing, and then I'm going to let you go. I'll keep listening. Is this? I think this one was the William Shatner launch, or maybe it was the Kobe Cotton one. And when Shatner, big fat Shatner, slammed into the ground, it slammed extra hard. And we commented on that, and the videos were kind of going viral. And then all of a sudden, they made up the story that a puff of air, a blast, comes out of the bottom of the capsule just a split second before it hits the ground to cushion the landing. That's where all the smoke comes from, right? Where are the mechanicals for that, right? Because I asked ChatGPT, how thick is the floor, and it said, inches to a maximum of a foot. So where do you have the blast? And I said, I looked at the bottom of as it was coming down the parachute, and it was just pure white. There wasn't any nozzles. And it said, oh, they're hidden underneath flaps that open up a split second before it hits the ground. I mean, they're just making up stuff. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and it's like they making it up as they go. But this shot right here is crazy because it's something popping up out this rocket. I don't know what it is, but it's some sort of CGI artifact from. Yeah, you got it.
That's all CGI. That's not a real rocket at all. That is 100% CGI. They have 3 types of rockets that they launch. They launch helium blimps, like the space shuttle. That was a blimp that they would launch, right? They launch miniature rockets that people from 10 miles away have no idea how big they are. And then they have CGI launches like this, which is pure CGI. And the only people that are there are the actors. You got Oprah and gang and everything. And maybe some of the people aren't in on it, but they're kept 10 miles away. and they're watching a miniature rocket go up. They're watching something go up. They go, I saw something go up. I saw a smoke trail, right? But this one didn't have a smoke trail. Where's the right? It's the same fuel that the space will burn. Where's the smoke? The smoke just comes from the ground.
You know what? That is something now. If Oprah and them saw a smoke trail, but we don't see one here, that right there is like the red flag that
I don't know if Oprah saw one, but there was one launch where the people that watched it from far away, there was a smoke trail, but when we see the close up like this, there is no smoke trail. So they're watching two different things. This is just a Hollywood production.
God dang, man. This is crazy. Hey, I'm gonna have to do a lot of debating tonight because I've seen a lot of I'm not debating Brenda, I ain't having that, but if True Magnum, I think that you are a challenger. Yeah, you can cut in right now if you would like. Welcome back, True Magnum. You a globe earther, right?
Yeah, I'm like in between.
In between.
Yeah.
What's your best globe proof?
Well, I don't have gold proof, but I don't have flat Earth proof.
All right.
Nobody does.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna cut out where people are going to bed here, and I gotta take down the volume a little bit. So I'll be listening, and maybe we can do a stream another day and have a longer chat.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Thanks, bro. You got my email. Hit me up anytime.
All right, for sure. I will do it.
Later, bro.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks to Deep in the Rabbit Hole for this footage.
Yeah, I just don't want to get off a topic, you know what I mean? Because I don't know if this stream is necessarily about flat Earth, you know what I mean? It's about the rocket launch.
Well,
and I came kind of late.
Well, how it relates to flat Earth, right, is that flat earthers have been saying that space is fake and that most of this stuff is CGI. And what this does, it gives us more proof for that. So I guess what I would ask you is, what do you have to say about this fake space flight? Because a lot of globalists are even saying it's fake, even though if they're not. Because I see a lot of people saying, well, it's fake and it's disrespectful to the real space, travelers. I think that it's a blow to space travelers in general as a collective. But what do you think about this time? What do you think about the flight?
Oh, no, I mean, there's plenty of evidence that you guys, I'm sure, went over that proves, you know what I mean, that they fake these launches, you know what I mean? And even David was just saying they shoot things in the sky, you know what I mean, as a part of an act, but they're not necessarily doing or acquiring the type of intel they're telling us they're gathering. So, I mean, I'm with you guys on that. I'm just like, are we going to shoot? It's a flat Earth community. Are we like, I don't mean to say we, you know what I mean? Because I don't know who claims to be a flat earther or not. Like shit, too. But I don't really know. That's what I'm saying. But is a flat Earth community going to shoot a rocket in the sky to prove that it's flat? Like, you know what I mean?
So,
that's where I'm like, I don't know.
I got you. So you don't have to shoot a rocket in the Earth to prove that it's flat or that it's not moving at all. The earliest people to walk this earth was able to prove that it was flat without shooting a rocket in the sky. We have the Bedford level experiment and other experiments that we can do to prove that the earth is flat. Spherical geometry wasn't based upon shooting rockets in the air. So if they was able to so-called measure the circumference of the earth without a rocket, then and if they said that they can prove that the earth is round from the ground, then I can prove it's flat from the ground. I think it has to be fair. So that's where I stand with that. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to this Deep in the Rabbit Hole video. I'm gonna just let this play in the background because I will say this right here. Listen, man, this is very, very damning. Drop a 1, y'all. Hold on now. Let me see. Let me drop a 1. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it's a dagger, y'all. You can see so many glitches. Let's take it back, yo. I know y'all want me to play this out, but I just see a lot of them, man. Let's play it. Yo, I never really. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. I never really.
Yo, what's up, Sanchez?
What's good? You got to.
Hey.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there you go.
We good?
Yeah, we good.
Yo, I'm a fan, bro. Another content creator, but I enjoy your work. And we were actually going over some of your videos from the other day. I'll say this: I live in Florida. I know that they're sending something up. Like they're going to send one up tonight. I've been watching these things go up my entire life. So for me, there's definitely something going up. Like there's no two ways about it. This Blue Origin thing, kind of suspect. But my question to you is, I mean, what do you think? They're just up there underneath the firmament and they're just working under the firmament and that's it? Because they're up in orbit. They're doing something up there.
Well, here's the thing. And thank you so much for joining. Thank you for reviewing my work. Guys, go sub up to FOMO TV. Check this out. Here's what I think. I think the 4th of July says it all. Now, this may be a reach, but we're in July right now. I'm gonna say, no, excuse me, I'm saying we're in July, but I'm saying, what the hell I'm trying to say? Excuse me, the 4th of July reveals to what I believe about this is that it is a huge skyrocket. So the July is represent, when America got its independence. I want to get my reach on a little bit with the symbolism like everybody else. Just hear me out, right? Think about this, right, guys? I believe they have scaled up fireworks. Now, this may sound crazy, but I remember as a kid, right, we would launch these giant jumbo skyrockets. Not the little skinny ones, but the big ones. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to put them in a bottle, boom, watch them go up and shit like that. What if the launch pad is like the bottle that we would use to launch our little rockets, like the thing, boom. It's full of gunpowder. This is full of, they got the little fuel tank at the bottom, whatever. When the fuel burn out, guess what? It's out of sight. So at that point, you can cut to a camera where people floating around, zero gravity, and we don't know if there is anybody in that rocket or not. Because there's a video going viral of a mannequin inside the Blue Origin. Did you see that one? Let me pull that up.
No, I didn't see that.
Because
my take, like I said, I've been watching these things from the 80s when the space shuttle used to go up, and that was even more amazing. Yeah, and you can see when the first booster is dead, you can see the second engine kick in if it's like a clear night. And I'm seeing it with my own eyes, so I'm gonna believe my eyes.
You know what? Now I don't doubt that they sending some up even deep in the rabbit hole. Said that they gotta have some for the people on the ground to see. That'll be a dead giveaway. I'm saying with my argument, the speeds that these things are going, if these speeds are correct, a regular human body is not coming back to Earth in a safe, healthy condition. So I believe they are sending some up, but I don't think no humans is in it. I don't think we ever going up to these places. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think those 5 women went up there. I mean, nothing. I'm not being misogynistic, but I mean, come on, like.
But let me ask you
people train their whole lives to go up, and they did it in 2 days.
Do you think that there's enough training you can do to travel at bullet speed?
No, hell no. I mean, what, in 2 days?
Well,
or
how
you mean
fast
in
does a
general?
bullet travel?
All right, so
2,300 miles an hour.
A bullet, they travel 300 miles less than bullet speed, so we can say they travel at bullet speed. But here's the kicker. They got from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour in 20 seconds. Man, that'll kill you.
Yep.
Yeah, but they are strapped in too. I mean, I just know what I've seen.
I don't know if y'all heard the speed. Let me show y'all let me just show y'all something real quick. This will help you, tap into your logic. Just a second. Look at the bullet. This is how fast they went. Get this in your head. You gotta get that in your head, guys. I don't care how much you strapped in, because here go the kicker, right? They going 2,300 miles per hour, and when they get to apogee, they just come to a sudden stop. Listen, if you're going 70 miles per hour in the car and you slam on brakes, you're going out the windshield. But you telling me they went 2,300 miles per hour and got to the top and let's just float around? It's like the seats that's mounted to the ground, they would have popped up through the ceiling going that speed. Everything inside of that thing would have popped out. It would have just blew out the ceiling. If
and
you
the
stopped,
silicone.
Right, and the silicone. Matter of fact, they skin probably would have ripped off their body going bullet speed and then coming to a sudden halt. Like, we don't think about this stuff.
I feel like the whole Blue Horizon thing, it's absurdity. Like it's obviously not. It's not real, but I'm looking at it more from like the NASA side, SpaceX, what I've been seeing here for, my entire life. And, I mean, you are gradually increasing in speed. They're strapped in, but these guys are training for their whole lives.
One correction. Going from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour is not a gradual increase in speed.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe I underestimate.
Let me tell you something, man. That right there is a death sentence, is what it is. Let's just be honest, man.
So you don't think nobody's ever gone up there? Nobody's been in orbit? There's no monkeys, nothing?
Not only me, but ChatGPT even said you'll die trying to do that too. You can just do it takes a lot of believing in things that goes against the way the natural world work to accept space travel, which is why it's a big community of people who are doubters of it,
Yeah, I mean, I like your take on the flat Earth. I'm not a flat earther necessarily, but I'm open-minded. It's just hard for me to throw away the whole idea of the sun and the moon and what I can see.
Who said that flat earthers throw that away?
Well, no.
No,
well,
we don't throw that away.
A firmament. I mean, what else? Like what? We just hit a spot. You can't go to the sun.
Here's what the firmament. Here's what the firmament is. The firmament is the Earth's electromagnetic energy field. Is that a better word for you?
Okay. So like the Van Allen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just like the Van Allen belts on a globe.
So you can go to a certain point, but you can't get through it?
Even NASA say that we can't get through the Van Allen belt. So when a flat earther say we can't get through the firmament, y'all ought to say, well, we agree on something, huh? On both models, we saying you can't get through it,
But they must have at some point, right? Because they claim they sent Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. I mean, those things have been
that goes back to
freaking.
That goes back to my interview with Rob Skiba, who's the author of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. And the thing what he said, and he was interviewed by Candace Owens too. He said all of the technology we used to get to the moon in those days, it was worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And they just said we destroyed it. We just got rid of it.
I heard that.
So like, again, there's a lot of believing bullshit that you got to do to go along with their program. And I got too much respect for myself and my children to just accept a bunch of bullshit, from people.
I don't think we went
You're
to
not
the moon.
going to just bullshit me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. But the idea that we're sending, I mean, how do you explain? I mean, there's something going up there. Bottom
Wait, so
line. They were,
I have
Yeah,
much.
and it ain't humans, and it ain't
well,
humans.
maybe it's not humans, but there are satellite phones that work in the mountains of Afghanistan. So
Well,
there's
well,
something.
here's I'm talking to somebody, guys. Wait your turn. Hold on a second. When I'm driving through Arizona, I don't get a signal, but I will tell you where satellites at. They're on the ground, which is why every murder that has been solved from a phone call, it's been from a cell tower landline bounce. I was in law enforcement. We never had a satellite signal that we had to track. Every time there was a murder solved with phone calls, it was your last location tracked via a cell tower on the ground. We got a huge land grid of towers, and they still building them all over the place. So I will say this: when we get off the ground to a certain height, our phones don't work. So think about this: if you travel up, let's say common line, let's go up. You getting less of a signal, but I'm supposed to be getting closer to satellites. Now, does that make sense to you that I'm going to lose a signal the higher I go, even though I'm getting closer to the thing that's supposed to be? See, that's because the cell towers on the ground is where we're getting our signals from, sir. Oh yeah. And see, the thing is this right here. That's why when you driving through Arizona, the Grand Canyon area, like I do all the time, I live in Vegas, you can't make no calls through the mountains because your signal is being blocked by the mountains and you can't reach that tower that's on the ground. But if there was a satellite above my head, if I'm riding through the mountains, it wouldn't disturb my signal at all.
But your phone isn't satellite capable.
Okay, so you're telling me that we're not getting our phone signal from satellites now?
No, I don't think not this phone that I'm like the ones that we carry, Metro, PCS, all this bullshit. No,
Hold on. You don't know my phone. You don't know. Hold on. Well, here's the thing now. All of these phone companies are telling you that they got their own satellites in space. You can go to these even T-Mobile, they got these phone companies are saying that. They even showing you that on some of their commercials. So what I'm saying is they are, in my opinion, they're lying too, along with the space programs, because I'm not saying that my phone is connected to the satellite. They are. So if don't put that on me. You know, people say to me all the time, Sanchez, if ain't no satellites up there, how you using your phone? I'm not making that argument. I'm just responding to that argument when I bring up Arizona, the Grand Canyon, and all that.
I don't want to hog up too much more of your time because I know that people want to jump in. But in my opinion, the satellite connection with the cell phone towers would be between the towers, making it capable for them to communicate, not necessarily your phone picking up a signal. And that's just off of networking work that I did, during my life, learning this stuff as I went. So, I mean, it could be the satellite link there and not directly to your phone necessarily. See what I'm saying?
Well, what I do know is there are no satellites orbiting a globe Earth, but I do believe that there are a network of satellite balloons hovering in networks in the sky.
Okay. I just happened to mention that tonight too about balloons.
Yeah.
Could I make a disagreement about the satellite connection?
And I'll just land with here, and the next caller can go with their disagreement. We can actually show pictures of satellite balloons. These are real images. But if you just pull up satellite, I'm going to give y'all an example. You're going to get cartoons. Watch this. When it comes to satellites orbiting the Earth, you get CGI cartoons because it's so easy to debunk the science behind these orbiting the Earth, and it has nothing up there. But I'm not denying that satellites exist. I'm saying they don't exist in this fake cartoon reality they giving y'all to sell orbit. I'm saying they exist as a network of balloons, and these balloons are high tech. They can hover in areas for years, in my opinion, before they have to change them or patch up a hole or something. You can have a network going for years, man. That makes
If you're
more
interested,
sense.
real quick,
But
if you're
I'll
interested,
fall back to out the UFOMO and I'll let him go. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a really cool website if you're interested that actually maps every single alleged satellite.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, I could drop it in the chat when I go back in the house.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you all of these websites that show, and yeah, I would love for you to drop it because I want to play around with it to prove my point.
Yeah, you'd like it. You'd like it.
All of these websites, they showing you a dot on a grid. And if I should be able to go outside and sync that to a certain dot in the sky. And what I'm saying is you don't know if what you tracking is a satellite or a luminary. You don't know if it's blue beam. My mind is open. It ain't that I want to be a disbeliever of everything. It's that I want to question everything. And to those who are into the Bible says it this way: prove all things. Don't just accept it because somebody said it. So if I annoy anybody with my behavior, if you're a biblical person, then you should give me a pass just for that alone. But yeah, let's go. I'm gonna go to the next caller.
Yeah, could I disagree about the satellite thing connection?
Sure, take your time, man. Take the mic, and thank you for joining. Everyone get the likes and shares up. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, bro Sanchez. Yeah, I'm a fan of the channel. I just wanted to disagree about the one point about how they wouldn't have a connection to the satellite when they're higher in the sky, because the way that the frequency gets put out, a good way to explain it would be, could you pull up a picture of a flashlight beam? Just look up flashlight beam.
Yeah, I got you. Hold up. How the light triangulates, right? I got you. Go ahead.
Right. So on the ground, you're getting the widest dispersion of the frequency. But then when you're up in the sky, it gets thinner and thinner from the satellite. So you would have to be right in the path of that beam to actually get a connection.
Because that dispersion of the signal is getting so tight that now you got to make sure you align more fine now. The higher up you go versus on the ground is you basically always in it. What we saying.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I can understand the concept of that. So you saying that, but you do agree with me that we're talking satellite balloons here, right? Or do you believe that they're really in orbit, like they say? Because I can get jiggy with what you're saying as far as how it would work with a satellite balloon that's just hovering in one spot, like this flashlight. Because dig this, right? The satellites up there are trapped. Let's see. You mind if I do a little chat GPT? How fast on average are satellites traveling when orbiting the Earth? Let's do that. And then I'm going to make a point. My typing is... Oh, wow. Damn. You ready for this, man?
Yeah. What's it say?
Damn. These satellites are traveling at 17,500 miles per hour. Now listen. A bullet travels at 2,300 miles per hour. This is 1,800 miles per hour. You know what I have to say? If you were to move this flashlight at 1,800 miles per hour, it won't even matter that it's triangulating anymore, because it'll just be a blur. It'll just be a blur. Like, this is so ridiculous that we think oh my. Is that not crazy to you? Wow. Listen, man, that's amazing. The things you got to believe in to accept the globe. Wow. They got these things whipping around the earth at 17,000 miles per hour. Yet when we look up at them, they're just little lights in the sky. That's like when people say they saw the ISS transit. Watch this. Watch this. The ISS is moving at 17,500 miles per hour. So it's moving at the same speed as all the other satellites in low Earth orbit. Now watch this. So now the ISS is moving at 18,000 miles per hour, right? And when people see the transit, when it transit the moon, it's moving so fast that you shouldn't even notice it when it transit the moon. But yet, if you ever see the ISS transit in them fake videos, I mean, it's going slow. It's amazing to me that we will accept these ridiculous speeds. Let me show y'all something about these speeds, right? And this is something that they always, watch this. Watch this. You have astronauts working outside the ISS, and they are harnessed and latched on to this thing. Now, I'm gonna want to remind y'all all of something. The ISS is moving at 18,000 miles per hour, and he's able to harness himself to it, guys, and do his work with his screwdrivers and bolts in his hand at that speed. 6 times the speed of a bullet. Now, if you look at this image, you can see that this image is fake. It's CGI. Look at his legs right here and how they blend in with the background. And tell me that see, because I use thumbnail software, background burning. I use all that all the time, and I know that this right here is fake. Right here. But an average globe earther say, man, he really in space. This image is from NASA, you know. But my whole thing is this. The ISS is moving at 18,000 miles per hour. He's able to latch himself to it and hold a little bitty screw in his hand and screw the screw in without dropping it with his boat while hovering with. Guys, y'all gotta be silly to believe this now.
Stupid.
Come on, man.
Come on now, dog.
Come on,
I have
people.
a question, Sanchez. I have one more question, man.
Yes, y'all got it. Go ahead. Salutes to the panel.
So do you believe that we have manned technology that can travel over 2,000 miles per hour? Or do you not believe that?
Well, when people start asking me, do I believe? Let me just break some down to you. I'm from the Bible Belt. I've always believed in things I couldn't prove. I had faith all my life. But when I left the church, Christians would still walk up to me and ask me, but do you believe in Jesus? And they didn't like my answer that I just don't believe at all. I prefer to know. So I'm a Gnostic. I'm not a believer. No, the root word of no, Gnostic. Gnostics don't deal with belief at all. So if you approach a Gnostic with a belief, what the Gnostic does, he try to prove the belief or disprove it. He look for a way to conclude on a fact versus just do he believe, right? So believing is not an option for a Gnostic. Believing ain't satisfying to me. I want to know a thing.
All right, let me reword my question. Can you disprove that there's manned vehicles that don't travel 2,000 miles per hour?
I'm doing it right now in front of your face. You can disprove it too when you know the human body's capabilities and how many G's that a person would have to undergo. Let me give you some numbers real quick. For a person to go from 0 to 2,300 miles per hour in 20 seconds, they're going to experience 70,000 G's to 80,000 G's. The human body blacks out after 9 G's, and this is for the most skilled pros. So let me explain something to you, right? If a person traveling 2,300 miles per hour from 0 at 20 seconds feel 80,000 G's, how much does a person feel that's going 18,000 miles per hour? We're talking about ridiculous numbers of G's. The human body can't go past 10 G's, but we're dealing with 80,000, 70,000 G's. I'm saying only a fool, in my opinion, with all respect, would believe that these guys are some sort of superhuman, that they can travel at, dude, we're talking speeds that's damn, dude, this is, Wow. We're talking 6 and 8 times the speed of our fastest bullets on Earth. This is what he's traveling at right now. Now, let's take a look at the bullet real quick. He's making this bullet look like a turtle because this bullet here is only traveling at 1,800 miles per hour. But he's going at 18,000 miles per hour. I'm gonna say that again. This bullet traveling at 1,800 miles per hour. The dude hanging on to the ISS in this image is traveling at 18,000. Now, but let's look how fast this turtle is going, because in comparison to the ISS, this bullet is a damn turtle. Let's look at this turtle. Look at this turtle. It's only going 1,800 miles per hour. That's slow. Look at it. Look at that damn turtle, man. That ain't fast at all. I don't even know how that can kill a man. Because that ain't really, when you consider how fast he's going, that's a turtle, man. Come on. What we just saw that bullet do ain't impressive. That's a turtle.
No, you're right. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen, like, I know that jets travel, like, over 2 Mach per hour, like 2.
How do you know it? Have you been in one? Because I was in the Air Force, and I'm telling you, it's bullshit.
So how fast are they traveling?
I don't know, but not what they telling us. You got the right to question everything, man. Here's the thing, though. I'm not telling you I know. I'm telling you it's not what they're saying. So if somebody come to you and say, if they're lying to you, and you don't know exactly what's going on, but you know they bullshitting and they're lying, and they be like, so you tell me what happened at the club. I'd be like, bro, I wasn't there, but I know what you just said don't make no sense. It's just what you said. I see it, the contradictions. It's one of those situations. The burden of proof ain't on me. I didn't make the claim. Listen, if somebody say, bro, I was in a car that was going 18,000 miles per hour, and I say, boy, you bullshitting. And they say, well, how fast was it going? I'm going to say, I don't know, but I know you're bullshitting. You wasn't going that damn fast. Stupid. You see what I'm saying? I don't got to know. I don't got to give you a number to replace the bullshit with. All I got to do is say that was bullshit. You see what I'm saying? That's all I got to do. Call the bullshit. I don't got to replace the bullshit. I got to get rid of the bullshit. Next person. We got the shields of our lives. Everyone hit the like and share button for me. Thank y'all so much. Thank you very much.
Nice. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate these calls. You guys are awesome. Let me drop a bomb for my panel and for the chat room. For sure, man, and appreciate everybody that support. Shout out to my brother Lewis Russell, man. Thank you for the super chat. Hold on a second, y'all. Shout out to Red Wine Entertainment, and shout out to Reagan Etz. Thank y'all for the super chats. Shout out to Romham Solo for being a member, and Astro 40K. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to DL for becoming a new member. Shout out to Flat Out Fudge. They not fumbling. Just in the most difficult time. Shout out to DL for becoming a new member. And let me read this. Astro 40K said if you strap them in with seat belts, when they stop suddenly at that speed, it's gonna dig all into their skin and all of that. That's facts. It'll slice them up if you see what I'm saying. They'll go right through them straps at that speed. Hey, for real though, we forgot how reality worked, man, to believe this crap. But like I said, I don't got to give them another number just because I proved that the number they gave me was bullshit. I didn't make no claims. But no, I want to get every caller though, man. Appreciate y'all all though. This is just fun for me to, get y'all to think. Shout out to the next person. Who was it? The Shields of Our Lives, I think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Man,
I'm gonna fall back.
You.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, man, appreciate you, man. I love I caught, these are the last videos that you've been doing, man. You just broke it down to the numbers, and you broke down, the G's and all that stuff. And I mean, you're right. You got to look at these numbers and realistically think, can a human body go through this? And the answer is no. But I do want to bring up something which you should be familiar with. Tyler Perry has got his own retired Air Force base, right? You know about that?
I didn't know that. That man
So
got some big money. He doing shit like that.
Yeah. So he got him an Air Force or
Dang.
an old base. Yeah, don't hold me to which one, but so that's where he does all his movie productions. He's got his own studios. Cat Williams is talking about buying one of these. So my point of it is, think about it like that. So you got a closed set, just like him. So Bezos did the same thing. He had a closed set. Nobody is allowed on that place, wherever the hell he was at. He had his own crew. He had his own production. He had everything was closed, just like a Tyler Perry production, just like a movie set. Bezos did the same thing, but think about it. Bezos worth billions, right? So let's think about this real quick in terms of technology. I think I saw a video of yours or somebody else out there that showed the capsule footage of Katy Perry and how it looked glitchy and her face turned and it was all glitchy and stuff. But to me, I think we're on next level deep fake to the point where none of us understand it. Because we can't understand something that a technology that we're not aware of.
You're right.
So
man.
I think it's next level, straight up $1 billion, $1 trillion. Bezos is messing around with the technology. He's like, yeah, I can send you up there, and it looks like you're all up there, but it's so freaking AI next level, 30, 40 year shit ahead of stuff that we can comprehend that everybody's thinking it's real, but hell no, it ain't real. He just sent, he put up a production. It's a movie set is what this dude did. And then, the rocket CGI, yeah, we can all piece that out, but take a step back now and dig a little deeper and look into the origins of this big dick rocket shooting up into space. But go back to Aleister Crowley, dude. Go back to Jack Parsons. Go back to JPL Technologies. JPL was part of Thelema. Thelema was part of Aleister Crowley, and that was nothing but sex magic that these guys did back in the day with L. Ron Hubbard, the guy with Scientology. So you look at those things, this was nothing but a big-ass sex magic ritual.
And this is why the symbol of NASA is satanic, that serpent's tongue. You right? Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been putting comments out there, but they've been deleting these comments, man. Well, anytime I put Crowley or Parsons in the same thing, they delete my shit. It's crazy. So that's why I had to call you, man, because I've been putting comments out there and they delete anytime I put JPL, Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley, and L. Ron Hubbard in the same, my comment disappears. So my point of it is this is a ritualistic thing. That's why Katy Perry's doing the dandelion and the butterfly and all that, all the other crap. And then, and then you got to look at, how you
flip it upside down, the symbol, and it's the Baphomet. Go ahead.
Oh, all day. Yeah. But you got to go back 15 years and Katy Perry's on TV telling everybody how she sold her soul to the devil. That's a clip on YouTube. You look that up.
Yeah.
That's 15, 20 years ago, she put that out there. But so this all ties into some kind of crazy ass Easter Ishtar sex magic ritual that. Go ahead.
One thing, because I like where you're going. Let me interject for like 1 minute, right? The reason this is so anti-biblical and blasphemous and it goes against the Bible and like creation and all that, is because all of the prophets, all of the ancestors said that the only way that man can exit the earth is if the earth exit him. Let me say that again. The only way you can lead a world is if the world leave you. You have to master yourself. I'm going to show people images of Enoch, right? Now, Enoch is seen, people are fascinated with the book of Enoch. It was removed from the Bible because the people who gave us the Bible today, they don't want us to know the first space program. The first conversations of man leaving the earth wearing all white robes was having out-of-body experiences. When flat earthers say that you can't get past the firmament dome, we're saying not in your body, but you can get past it by dreaming, going to the astral plane. That's how we travel other alternative realms. It's an out-of-body experience like all of the prophets. The Bible says it this way: no flesh and blood can enter the kingdom of heaven. That means that the space program is trying to recreate the knowledge of the heavens. They're saying that man can cheat the laws of how the heavens is set up according to the ancestors. When the ancestors said that man can leave the earth, they was talking about projecting out of here astral plane, not astronaut, but from an astral traveling, out of body experience. And that's why the Bible is saying can't no flesh and blood enter the kingdom of heaven. It ain't saying you can't go to heaven. It's saying you got to strip naked before God, is what we call it in the church. That means take off the body. When we fell from heaven is when we came into the flesh. The flesh occupies the earth realm. The soul occupies the heavenly realm. You have a soul. The people who sold their soul, they got to teach us that we can't leave the earth. Let me tell y'all this. The greatest trick of the devil, see, the earth is hell. That's the trick. And the people think that the devil is in hell, right? But the devil is on the earth, and the earth is hell. The ancestors said that the earth was the realm of the dead and the abode of the devil, which is why the world's so evil, because the devil owned this world. He got this his kingdom. So the thing is this right here. People don't realize they already in hell. And one of the things is that what the devil did, the devil convinced the people that can make it out of hell and rise back up to heaven that they can't leave hell, which is the earth. And how did the devil do it? How did the Bible say that serpent deceiveth the whole world? What was the Bible talking about? The people that wore the symbol of the serpent, which is NASA. Why? Because the church used to have a symbol of two big serpent caduceus before Christ. That was the symbol of the papacy. And their gods were the Greek gods, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and all of that before Jesus. And so the old papacy is what we're calling NASA today, who's giving you the old Greek gods in the form of Jupiter, Saturn, Mars. They're teaching you the old church deception. Guess what the church was teaching the people back in the day? That mortal man can't go to heaven. Back in those days, the old church taught that when Christians die, they go to Hades, and that only the gods could go to Olympia, which was the realm where Zeus dwelt, Mercury dwelt. The church used to have a bunch of gods, y'all, and they don't want y'all to know that it was polytheistic. But watch this, right? Here's the thing. They eventually consolidated all of the energy of all power of all those gods into Christ, and instead of having a big pantheon full of gods, it became Christ and some disciples. But before that, it was just before it was a bunch of disciples, it was a bunch of gods dwelling with Zeus and Olympia. But Zeus became Jesus or Jesus, and then they changed it. But anyway, what the church was teaching was basically mortal man can't go to heaven. And that the only people that can go to heaven were the Pharisees, the Sadducees. The church prophets had a direct connection to God, but the peasants didn't. And if you look at what they teaching today, that turns into the astronauts being able to go up there to the heavens, and can't nobody else go, just the rich and the wealthy, which is what was happening back then. And the symbol of the papacy was a serpent, just like it is today. I can show it to y'all that they all got the same symbol. I just wanted to add this with you. We got a lot of callers, but we giving them some stuff that's very important, I believe, for this stream, because a lot of people are into the symbolism. But this is why we see a lot of serpent symbolism at the Vatican.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
This is why Moses had a serpent staff. They worship, like when the serpent staff that Moses had was called the Nehushtan. but the shaitan is the word Satan, Satan. And they literally, what they don't want y'all to know is that the original foundation of the church, they worship the devil. It was Satanism. It was satanic, Satanism. So all of the church members who in bed with the papacy at the Vatican, all of y'all going to hell. All of y'all church members, you modern day Christians that's following this deception right here. This was called the synagogue of Satan, because their synagogue literally has Satan the serpent visible in it. And it's been that way.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's crazy right now, SpaceX is launching 23 satellites from Cape Canaveral on the Falcon 9 rocket, literally as we're speaking too. Just heads up for that, for the guy earlier talking about satellites going up. I mean, that's because Elon's been shooting them up since 2019. About every 2 months, he's been shooting up Starlink. So, you know, all they're doing is just sending those up to, basically, it's just going to cover the whole Earth, and it's going to be like the all-seeing eye. Once all that stuff's connected, all those Starlinks up there are going to just connect everybody. You won't be able to hide anywhere eventually. It's literally Satan taking over the world.
Because and people don't realize, like, the whole concept of somebody else dying for your sins was called human sacrifice, and that was paganism. People think they following the truth, but this is why the Bible say that most of the earth is gonna follow the beast of hell, even most of the saints. It's called a great apostasy, because only a few gonna really see the deception of this trickster, of these tricksters, you know. So, and most folks will laugh at you when you try to tell them the truth. And the Bible knew that. That's why it said, let he who have an ear hear. Let the man with eyes see. What the Bible said. If you can think for your damn self, you better be happy, because most of the people gonna perish with science, with the agenda of the world, of transhumanism, the anti-natural order, and going into artificial this, artificial that, genetically modified this. You know, but the whole thing about the space program being part of the old church is literally that the whole reason they rose to power was against the ancient order of tribes that was teaching people how to get off the earth through self-mastery. So in order for them to bring forth a new system where people stop, because this earth used to be a paradise, and everywhere you went, people was treating each other right. It was the golden age. It wasn't a lot of crime. It was a utopia. And that was because people was teaching that if you don't treat people right and practice righteousness, that you can't leave the earth. You'll be left behind. You'll be stuck here. People literally taught that, and people didn't want to be left behind. They wanted to ascend to heaven. You know, but the church didn't want that, because the church represent the Caesars, the government order, who want to dumb the people down and rule them out of fear. And so what the church came along teaching was that you can leave the earth and escape to the heavens if you trust the Caesar and his smart men, his wise men, and their technology. You see what I'm saying? That turned into the space program that they telling people we are going to lead the earth with the right technology and smarts. That goes against what the Bible say, because can't no flesh and blood enter. When they talk about the heavens, that's the word we call space today. It can't enter the heavens. Yeah. And you notice that the Bible said heavens plural with an S, because these are ethers. These are different higher dimensions of reality. They know we can't break it above a certain area, the firmament dome, but they gotta act like we can, because if everyone knew about the firmament dome, guess what people will say? Well, how do we get out of the firmament dome? And they would have to say, be good, treat each other right, quit practicing hatred, quit being divided. But that's what they ruling us all with: hatred, division, and all that.
Yep, it's gotten worse and worse the last 20 years. I mean, look up Operation Fishbowl if you want to look up something that they shot thermonuclear missiles nonstop up into the dome. I mean, they were trying to, back in the 50s, they were trying to crack through that back then in the 50s, Operation Fishbowl. And that's a declassified thing. And they'll say that they were doing testing. But the problem is they were blasting missiles up there for, I don't know, 6 months straight, and couldn't do a thing. And this was before the 60s and the race to space, and then the 2001 Space Odyssey that came out ironically a year or two before the actual moon landing, which programmed everybody right there. Just because that's the early days of TV. 1963 was the first time there was a presidential debate on TV. So you go to 69. This is 6 years later. 6 years later, that stuff's being televised. That 68, the 2001 Space Odyssey came out, and now you're like, oh, we're on the moon. We're flying around in space, and then 69 they come out and tell everybody, through a NASA closed circuit television. And Nixon talking to these people from the White House on his telephone, in 1969, and half of the world's watching it. I mean, come on, how much more programming can you get with these boomers? That I'm not a boomer, but my dad is, and he believed everything he saw on TV back then. Most of them do, but there's discernment. Like you said, you got to be able to see through this stuff. And another thing is, to me, with the curvature of the Earth, they've debunked with lasers that with the curvature, what was it, 8 inches per square mile or something, that the curvature is supposed to go down if you're flying around the curvature of the Earth. It's supposed to go down 8 inches. Well, they've already debunked that with in the 1800s they debunked that, but I'm just saying with technology today, that's debunked with lasers easily.
Mm-hmm. These are facts.
So,
these are facts.
And again, with the flat Earth stuff too, man, none of us are going to ever be able to get to the edge of it. We can't fly out there. We can't get out there. We'll never be able to prove that. It's a debate that they know that we're going to go endless circles in. That's why they're saying flat Earth this and flat Earth that. Well, guess what? Nobody can prove it. Nobody's got the money to get out there. Ain't nobody going to ever be able to get out there. And if they did, they'd make sure they wouldn't be able to get out there. Even if we crowdfunded something, they blow our shit up before we even made it out there. Whoops, something happened. It just wouldn't happen. They wouldn't be able to get us out there and prove it.
What I do believe, I can't prove, is that with Operation Fishbowl, let me show y'all something real quick. See, with Operation Fishbowl, what they was doing was launching missiles up at the sky. And a lot of people may say, well, what was it for, right? Because there's a ocean above our head, like a whole, it's some kind of medium. It becomes like, because it's layers of the atmosphere, and the higher up you go, these layers are like their own oceans stacked upon each other. And the oceans become less dense and less dense as you go up. So what happens is it's like we're at the bottom of this ocean. Like, let me just break some down to you. If you look at, in order to understand Operation Fishbowl, you got to understand what the Earth is and why they even call it Fishbowl. So let me break this down to y'all real quick. Like, our atmosphere is like fish in the ocean is what we are. Now, that like the sky blue around you, think of fish in the ocean, blue all around them, right? So we're like crabs, we're at the bottom of this ocean. And it's the most pressure down here, boom, boom, boom. It's scarce down here as far as resources, all that, just like bottom feeders in the ocean. You can literally look at our world like that. Now watch this, right? When we go up these layers of the atmosphere, first of all, when we leave our first level, we can't even breathe above that shelf, which means something is confining humans to this bottom layer. It's just that simple. So look, our buildings, if we try to build buildings that high up in the sky, eventually we would have to find another way to even breathe in these higher altitudes. But watch this about Fishbowl before I get too far subject. They wanted to, in my opinion, see was the firmament real. This was during a time where the flat earth debate was going on. They don't want y'all to know that, but the flat earth debate was going on way back in the day with different scientists about what the earth was. And the beauty of this time, no one was acting like they had all the answers. It was still a golden age of exploration. Until the space programs came, like we all figured it out and ain't nothing else to see. Go home and eat Fruit Loops and let's buy clothes for the next 100 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but with Fishbowl, they launched these rockets up and they confirmed something stopped that rocket, something. And now there was a fake video going on saying that here is a rocket hitting the firmament dome. That was a psyop. That wasn't real.
Yeah, it spun around. Yeah, I saw that.
Right. But they did find out, though, that there is a barrier ceiling at a certain height. And my theory is this. They verified the firmament dome before they started the space programs. Let me show you how evil it is, and I'm going to fall back right here.
Sure. Hey, don't forget, don't forget they get $19 billion a year from taxpayers, too, from NASA. So that's my other point. Sorry.
And I'll land here. They found out that we were enclosed in a firmament dome, and when they found that out, they started the space programs, which was telling people we can leave the Earth and travel different planets. Because look, they said to themselves, without the fishbowl, okay, we know that the ancestors was right. We enclosed in a firmament dome. And before they broke that news to the people, a bunch of wise men sat in a room and said, wait a minute before we could just go and release that information. Let's think of how this will affect us or how it will hurt us. We have the power in our hand to be able to tell man whether we can even travel out of the earth or not right now. This is why Fishbowl is so important, because you don't have a space program if they come back and say, hey guys, we can't even leave. We're trapped in here and ain't no way out. Then guess what? The space programs would have never started. So somebody out the fishbowl said, we can't tell them this. We cannot let them know that we have a firmament dome up there. We got to go create the space programs. Why? Because if they believe that we can get out of here, they will pay big money into technology to help do it. And we've been breaking our fucking tax dollars ever since. He just told you how much we pay. That's a lot of money. And who would want to turn that much money down just to tell everybody the truth that we trapped in a dome and the only way out is to be good and kind and righteous? Kumbaya.
Yeah. Yeah, $20 billion a year. That's a great way to shut a lot of people up. And that's been going on for years, man. And anybody can look up, going back to Bush presidency, they've been putting off manned moon missions since the early 2000s. And if you I've actually looked this up and documented it. And I'm just a fledgling YouTube channel. I mean, I'm just starting out, but the point of it is back then they were putting off moon missions since about 2003, saying, oh, well, we can't do this until 2009. And then 2009 comes. We can't do it till 2012. They keep on pushing it off, and they've done it all the way up until now. Until recently, if you even look it up, they've recently pushed it off again, saying we can't get to the moon. I mean, they've been doing it to us for almost 30 years now, or if not longer, pushing off these bullshit delays on why we can't get back to the moon. Yet you're looking at 247,000 miles away, but then all the focus is on, and everybody's talking about Mars, which is supposedly 50, 60 million miles away. I mean, give me a break. You know, it's just, you're right. It's a big distraction. It's big money. All these other countries are realizing that. India, China, India with their bullshit landing on the moon last year. You know, that was a big. If you look at that, I mean, that was a CGI as hell. You know, if you look at Russia's been in on it since we were in on it in the 60s. But look at all these countries just magically started doing it. I think Israel, India. Just in the last 5-10 years, all these other countries are realizing it's big money. It's just big money. It's $1 billion business, just like what they've been doing. It's
to just run a CGI screen, like it's literally costs nothing to fake it, and you're gaining everything. But I want to go deep into some sacred geometry about leaving the earth and what people taught about leaving the earth before the space program, it'll only take another minute. Everyone knows this image of the Vesica Pisces. You see Jesus coming out of a portal. They made a movie, and the movie was a good movie. I like it. It was called Stranger Things on Netflix. And here's the thing about space travel, that our ancestors knew how to make wormholes and portals because our reality is basically holographic. And they knew how to basically create a wormhole in New York and make the end of it be in Cali. And when you walk through the portal in New York, you pop out in Cali. Now that sound crazy to y'all, but they trying to reverse engineer that back in our time. The truth is stranger than fiction. Here is the Stranger Things portal. And this right here is an ancient concept that we call the Vesica Pisces today, which is the Jesus basically coming out of this right here. If you look at this little tree, it looked like a tree, this little portal. I can show you images of the Pharaoh inside of the tree too, and Buddha wrapped up in the tree. Let me see if I can pull that up. It'll show you that the ancestors had this Stranger Things technology in their time, because you see the Pharaoh in this little tree like Buddha. And remember, Jack had a beanstalk, and Jack Beanstalk took him to heaven now. Now listen, Jack is Jacob in the Bible, and Jacob had a ladder to heaven. Now watch this, right? Jacob is Yakub, the big-head scientist who also supposedly created Stargate technology. Here is from the Stranger Things movies. Our ancestors were very deep. Let me break why I broke that down, right? Here is an image from Operation Fishbowl when they shot their missile up at the firmament. Here is the image that we get back, one of the images. What we're looking at, guys, is a upper water splash. Sanchez, what is that? Let me show you what an underwater splash is, and you'll understand. Hold on.
Hey, Stranger Things is a documentary too.
Right. Let me say this, and I'm gonna yield the flow. Here go an underwater. It's a great documentary, by the way. Here go an underwater splash, and I'm gonna yield the flow. It's when you enter a different medium. So we're on land and air. When we break the waters break. Like Moses, remember Moses made the waters break. And what they was talking about was the wise man, Moses, who had the secrets of breaking through this upper layer. Listen, it's like we're at the bottom of an ocean. And if we swim up to the surface, we surface out. Now, here is a collage I made of Moses, and the goddess that you see next to him, her name is Oshun. And she is the goddess, her name is Oshun, but it's not the water on the ground, it's the primordial waters, as they call them. The primordial waters represents this surface above our head. We can't break through those waters until we become a baby again, which is what Jesus was telling Nebuchadnezzar, I think. And that's because when we was a baby, our mama's waters breaking is symbolic of the soul breaking through that layer up there. It's a transformational process. So our crown chakra is literally linked to everybody got a star in the sky, and that star in the sky is basically, this is what it is. Everyone, when we came here, we broke the layer to get here. So above your head, every one of us is gonna trace our light back to the point when we was born, when we die, and our soul is gonna exit out of the same hole that it entered in. So if you look at this pattern of a glass break pattern, you will see that this is the symbol of the crown chakra. Because above our head, we're gonna trace a silver lining back to a splash pattern that we made when I was, and we're gonna remember this the moment we die. No one gonna have to tell your soul what it is. It's like when a fish is born, it know it's a fish, it starts swimming. Just like when you was a sperm, you didn't have to learn how to swim, you didn't have to learn how to be a sperm. This is in you. Yeah, but But let me share the mic. I'm kind of hogging it right now. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Let me share it
no,
with
man.
my callers.
No, it's good stuff, man. I mean, I'm just glad that I got to catch you live here. I've been trying to catch you live ever since I saw you doing your 5-hour lives here lately, and I'm like, damn, I got to catch those, man, because it's hard to talk to some people out here, and if it's crazy how me talking to somebody on the internet, I can't even talk to anybody I'm surrounded by, because everybody thinks I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No. This and let me show you why we can't leave the earth, guys. Because think of it this way, right? This upper water barrier, the moment they open it up, it closes in less than a second. So think about this, right? Think of we have this, you can say what the exosphere, this final layer, where there's a layer that's so high up in our atmosphere of gas, it's an ocean of some sort of medium, and that medium is lighter than every known gas and every element on our periodic table that make up our reality here. And that's why no element can surpass this upper element of this family of elements. It's like density. It won't let you cross over in your body. Yeah, go ahead.
It's like a plasma layer or something.
Yeah, exactly. And we can't really penetrate this because it don't stay open long enough for you to really, it behaves to where soon as it's open, it's closed. And nothing can hold it open long enough for you to get anything through it. Now, listen, what I'm saying now is my theory. This is why I think we can't just go through this. Because people may say, well, we sent something up. That looked like a hole, Sanchez. That looked like some sort of hole to where, Sanchez, we should be able to just go through it, right? Let me show y'all something. Here's what's going on. You got these underwater lakes. Just take a look at our reality a minute. So we can't penetrate these lakes. Y'all know that, right?
Yep, I've seen those.
And we don't have no technology that can break through this thing. But guess what? Eels go through it all the time. Because it's something about the nature of this brine water or whatever that when these what these big submarines, they like a big ball. When they try to go down, it's the density of this stuff just bounces it back up like a trampoline. The further down it go, the tighter, like it just is weird. This is what I've researched and heard. What about you? You want to interject? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go. Yeah, you're right. You can't get down there. I've seen those underwater seas too. That's why nothing can live down there. I mean, you're right. It's like it's a medium between as above, so below. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that may be a whole nother, it may open up to a bigger, even bigger ocean down there. But the whole thing is that's going on above us too. So I look at this the same way. We can, but we can't penetrate it, but we can have these sort of openings and I think that this is more behaving like there's a surface up there where we leave this particular dense family of gases that make our atmosphere, but we can't break that water, even though we can make this upper water splash pattern. We can't literally break the water like this little girl is doing. If that make any sense to y'all. But
bro,
yeah, we can disturb it.
Oh, and they've been trying to disturb it. So that's what that as above, so below. I mean, and it ties back to Crowley, man, and Thelema. I mean, and not to do a callback right now, but I mean, anybody wants to research what Crowley was doing, and that's how it all started, man, and how he was talking to demons in Egypt, and it starts all with that. Then you go to Jack Parsons, then you go to L. Ron Hubbard, and then you go to Werner von Braun. You got Werner von Braun that created the rockets, and then on his cemetery where he's buried, it says it's got a firmament quote that's from the Bible in there.
Yeah.
Werner von Braun saying it's the firmament quote saying we can't, you know.
And I'm starting to believe that the firmament wasn't always there, and that it's some sort of technology that's keeping us in a matrix. Now, hear me out. They said that our universe started from a Big Bang. And all of the symbolism that I've been researching can support that, but it only makes sense for flat Earth, which is what this collage represent. Everything is an explosion. Life is an explosion. So the picture you see in the bottom right corner, that's from Operation Fishbowl 2. So another thing that they was trying to do during Fishbowl was just understand the nature of the universe. But you got to understand this too. If all of the ancestors knew the earth was flat and that it was a fake simulation, how come we just figuring it out in 2025? Something happened on the earth where all the knowledge was reset. There was a great war on this earth. And I believe the people who fought in that war may have took over the earth after that war and became the government we see today that's trying to keep all of us from knowing this stuff that our ancestors was trying to teach us. And basically, the Big Bang ain't a theory, it's a reality. It's only a theory with the globe Earth, but with flat Earth, we can prove that. See, here's the thing. If we both agree that the universe is an explosion of energy, there's only one pattern. Listen, there's only one pattern in the universe that energy creates when it releases itself, and that's called a mushroom cloud. If we want to talk bombs and explosions, ain't no other pattern for a big boom but a mushroom cloud. And so the Big Bang would support flat Earth more than anything else.
Also micro macro. What you're talking about, what a Big Bang is what do you think? When you're having sex, what's the Big Bang? You have that explosion of sperm to the egg. And it's pretty much that picture that you got with the uterus right there. It's just kind of the same thing. It's micro macro stuff. You know what I mean? That's a big explosion.
Because,
so, it's the sex magic thing is what I'm talking about, with the Crowley stuff.
Right. And the whole sex magic is because let me show y'all why. Let me show y'all why the sex magic is something you can't escape. Take a look at a torus field. If you look at this torus field, what do you see? You see energy recycling through the center of magnetism. But you know what else I see? Watch this. Watch this. Man and woman perception, hourglass. Listen, you see two faces coming together to kiss each other. Now look at here. When man and woman come together, we create the Holy Grail, which is the hourglass of time, what you see in the middle. You see the Holy Grail, you see the hourglass, but you see the two human faces. Let me do this to the other person with the echo. I don't know who that was, but check this out. This is what this torus field represent. The two black bubbles you see on each side is like the two human faces that's in white. And in the middle, they're making that hourglass, which is life. So I want to break something down to you about sex magic. What's happening at the North Pole is that your mama is waiting to meet your daddy on a higher plane to give birth to you again in a higher realm. Every realm you exist in, your mama is meeting your daddy there. When you dream and you're in a dream, you're living out a whole nother alternate reality. And when you're in that dream, you got a whole different set of childhood memories that are separate from the memories here. You got a whole nother life there. And guess what? Your mama and daddy exist there in different alternate forms too, because they gave birth to you in that realm too. So And we didn't just make one universe. We made a bunch of universes, which is why they said that your daddy squirted out a bunch of sperm cells. But what they ain't telling you is that each sperm cell was a different you going into a different egg, which is why you got other versions of you in other alternate realities. You were born more than one time. And they're not this is how the ancestors and it'll go into time travel, traveling into these alternate realities to explore these other realities that we're living out simultaneously with this one, which is what church and meditation was all about. And but let me break this down with the sex magic. If you look at what we're looking at with the torus field, this is called a wormhole in science. And at a wormhole, time travel is possible. What happened when your mama met your daddy? You are an infinite soul that fell into the dimension of time. And what a sperm cell entering a uterus look like on a scientific level is light being recycled in a wormhole. Let me break some down to y'all real quick. This image that I'm showing you right now is a scientific image of light recycling through a wormhole. But what if I told you your sperm entering your mother's uterus is this same thing? And if you look at the light, it looked like a sperm cell. And if you look at the wormhole, tell me that ain't no female uterus. Now watch this, right? The top part of it is the uterus, and the bottom part of it is the man's penis going into the uterus. So what's happening at our death and death and life is tied together. Ain't no such thing as death. Every time we so-called die, we're just, the light that we see is you coming out of your mama womb again in a whole nother new reality where the Hindu said every time we're born again, our life get badder and badder and badder until we reach the top, which is called a Sonam Bonum, where we live out our ultimate reality. So basically, our reality is an echo system, ECHO, not ECO, echo, chakra layers. Let me break some down to y'all, right? What they're calling time travel via wormholes is the very story of our soul entering the earth. And every time time resets itself, we're a baby again, being born all over again. But check this out. This ain't nothing to be scared of. This is the fact we are immortals and we can't die. Now watch this. They want y'all to be scared of what you are. Listen, time is recycling itself at this place called death. But see, that's where the past is being tied together with the future. Like, time ain't a string that's in a line, because they talk about a timeline, right? And if you look at a timeline, you get this long line like this right here. And that ain't true. It's more like a string tied together at both of the ends, making a circle. And where both of the ends are tied together at, that's the past being tied to the future. This is why history repeats itself. Because when we get so far into the future, we realize we back in ancient Egypt with all our technology. If you look at all of the technology we making today, this is reverse engineered Mayan and Olmec and Egyptian technology, y'all. We ain't doing nothing new under the sun. And so we're going back to the future, which is why I like that term, back to the future, because it's like running a race. When we reach the end, we at the beginning again, where we started at. So time ain't a line, it's a loop. It's a circle.
You're right. Look, you're right. Look up, when you just said back to the future, look up solar analemma and the lunar analemma. And that's the tie right now, the solar analemma. It makes the 88. Yeah, if you pull up solar, ANALEMMA, it makes the 88 in the sky. That's what 88 miles per hour was on Back to the Future. That's what time travel was. And the lunar analemma does the same thing. They both make 88s. The sun and the moon make an 8 in the sky. and that's the time travel.
And that's the Ouroboros as well. Yep, serpent chasing its tail.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah.
And it ain't no secrets why they call it Lena. But hey, bro, much respect, my brother.
Hey, shout out to my brother Awakening Minds. But that's all I wanted to show him. Like, death is is us. When people say when they die and they seeing their whole life flash before them, right? It's because time is rewinding as your light travel back to the point where it all started. Listen what I'm saying. When people say they can see their whole life flashing by their eyes when they dying, it remind me of when I was young, right? We had a place called Blockbuster. We used to rent movies, kids. And you know what Blockbuster used to have on every case? Be kind, please rewind. At the end of at the end of our life, your light is gonna reverse out of the Truman Show, and you're gonna see everything you ever did in your life play out, and you're gonna be there grading your own life. And the Hindu said, if at the end of your tape, when you watch this and rewind and you become a child again, when you rewind your life, guess what the Hindu said? The Hindu said, if you ain't happy and you got regrets, then you gonna hit play again and keep doing it till you die and rewind it back and say, man, I did right. But if you be like, man, I shouldn't have hurt that person, this person, that person, you gotta fix that. The truth is time can be reset. Because we're in a simulation, you can reset the game. You ain't losing no time, because every time we play, we learn something new about ourselves to make the next journey better than the last, which is why the Hindu said to make it to heaven is a stairway. Now, if you look at this thing, it looked like a big click remote. This is the Adam Sandler's click remote. Like if you can hover above this top part, it looked like a big like remote with one button. And when the sperm go into that button, that's why the woman said, you can ring my bell. Listen, the bell shaped like the female uterus, right? Now look, if you look at the bell ringer, it looked like a sperm cell. Look at it. The part that's ringing it. And that's the uterus, and that's the sperm. And the class began, ring the bell, Saturn. All of the class began, the teachings began.
Yeah, I like that.
Bombs, saved by the bell.
Nice.
All the symbolism is there. I'm gonna fall back because I got a bunch of people that want to contribute to this classic stream.
I'll get off here, man. Damn, it was great talking to you. I'll call back again.
Hold on, Shills. Hold on.
Yeah, you don't. If you don't gotta leave if you don't want to, because I'm gonna be gone.
No, I'll stay. I'll stick around.
I go live for a while, man. I like the energy, but I'm gonna fall back. Yeah, go ahead. Awaken.
All I appreciate you, bro, for giving the people this knowledge, man, including myself. I just wanted to bring up the fact that the thermosphere, thermo is just an anagram of mother. Thermo, THERMO, is just mother. And then you have the exit sphere, the exosphere. So they keep shooting up these rockets. It's all sex magic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trying to give a new birth it, or it's the same thing you've been talking about. But I just wanted to throw that in there, bro. And then when you say Van Allen belt, it's literally heaven. You rearrange the words. Van Halen belt is literally heaven. The H is silent and the belt is just an L. You know what I mean? It's all sex fucking magic. The words we speak as well. But you've been spot on, my nigga. I just wanted you to know that thermo, even to understand thermo and the math behind thermo, which is the 8, that governs all our math, so that's all I wanted to throw in there, my brother. Thermo is mother as well. Then you get to the exosphere, which they've been trying to break forever.
They can't exit this. And let me say something real quick, right? Hold on a second. To my country people out there who speak country like Sanchez, but you smart, when you're a smart country bumpkin. Because the only thing they can say is that you sound country when you talk. Well, I got news for you. So did Elvis Presley, and the world loved him. And I got news for you. Bob Marley never pronounced man right. He always said man. Everyone got the right to speak in their natural dialect, but my people, and I don't like it, it's racism. And I'm going to call it out right now. I'm tired of it. It's a way to make a person that's smart. You can't challenge my smarts. So you pick at how I talk because I'm from Alabama. Everyone got a dialect where they mispronounce the English language, but when black people do it, it's ebonics and it's some kind of stamp of stupidity. But like I said, now, keep in mind, everyone can, like think about this. People in New York can say, did you saw that? I saw a man walk down the street. They put a R on saw. But that's the way I don't know if y'all ever heard it. I think that, and in Boston, they don't put a R on car. They say car. In the garage, the car, park the car. You know, the crazy thing is everybody can mispronounce the English language, and it's cute when everybody else do. It's only cute when black people do it, when you exploiting us in hip hop. When the white folks exploiting us in hip hop, we can mispronounce words all day, shawty and all that, long as we making them millions. But soon as I try to say something educated and I say, hey, shawty, you ever heard of Nikola Tesla? They don't want me thinking deep. So now they gonna hop on the fact that I used the word shawty when they making money off of it in millions with the hip hop though. You inviting rappers to the White House. Quit. You see what they do, y'all? And I just had to get that off my chest to people that may be from the country. And don't let them never try to use your dialect as a way to make you feel like you don't know what you talking about, man. Go ahead, y'all. I just, some in the universe said, Sanchez, somebody else from the South need to hear this, man. So I just went on that rant.
Yeah, that was me. That was me, man. They be Sanchez, I'm from Alabama, so they do me like that, man. Like they like to talk about the way I talk, but they ain't paying attention to the message. They wanna pay attention to the miss. So that what you was feeling.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, man. But you know, I called in, man. You know, I'm still a globe trotter, but I called in. Some nights I don't like you flat earthers, but tonight y'all brought it on home, especially with the miles per hour, which makes too much sense. Like I got a theory, but I have to be extra, so that's why I just tip my hats to y'all flat earthers tonight. But what I wanted to say was the space thing. Cause I understand in one way how space is fake, in another way I don't. And so me breaking that down is like, okay, we saying space is fake. Uh and like with the pictures you showed, I actually agree with you. They look Photoshop CGI. They don't look real. So like I said, I give you overall. I already give y'all the night to the flat earth. But what is space? Like what do you guys mean? I think I know what it mean, but I want clarification, because when we say space is fake, so if space is fake, because I'm in Alabama right now, it's nighttime. I look up, I see the stars, I see the sky. So if space is fake, what would I call what I look up at night? What would I call it then? That's my.
I got you, right? And I want to show you something before I answer that.
All right.
So when we look up at the sky and see the lights up there, they're projections. The sky is like a big, if I got a projector machine, I can project things in the sky right now. you can make certain light shows in the sky and all that with different technology from the ground. Just like this cat is chasing that laser dot, he'll never hit that physical. The ancestors said that what we see in the sky, they actually called them luminaries, meaning that there were lights, just simply light sources, nothing physical. I showed you the Professor Robert Greene, everybody in the chat room in the 60s, who was saying that basically the stars, the moon, it's a plasma. So what I'm saying was the argument that was being made on Earth by plenty of scientists at some point on Earth. Keep in mind, this was way before the space programs became popular. So they supposedly ended a lot of these debates about the nature of the heavens. But a lot of scientists were basically in alignment with ancestral viewpoints versus modern ways of today. And they had the science to support the fact that the ancestors wasn't as dumb as we thought about their nature of the heavens and etc. But what I'll say is space, as they teach it to us, wasn't the way the ancestors spoke of the heavens. So if you think of ice cubes floating in a cup of water, you can look at the atmosphere as a sort of medium, and there's stuff inside of that medium like the stars, the sun and moon, and you may have stars that are decorated on your cup, right? And then you may have other items inside the cup that's being stirred around with the water when we stir up the water. Now, the stars that's on the cup are the fixed stars. The ancestors called those fixed stars. These were stars that were literally attached to the firmament dome. Science support this. There are stars at an upper layer that seem to be, don't move. Or what they would say is they move very slow in relation to how the light reaches us. They will have their way of explaining it in modern terms. I subscribe to the ancestral ways. Now, the thing about my subscription, I can explain the modern way too, but I think that the ancestral way, it resonates more with me. And what they're saying is that there are layers of the atmosphere like we've been taught, but it's like oceans. You know, you have certain oceans that are less dense or more dense than others. And if you see where dense oceans meet less dense oceans, they don't mix. So you will have these places where the water is blue on one side, brown on the other side, and they will be separated by time zones too. The ancestors said when we traveling up in the atmosphere, there are these oceans of different gases that are collecting in different oceans and layers based on the law of density. So within those layers can be objects moving around, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to say this is space, this would be like what they're calling space, you know what I'm saying? But the reason they didn't use the term space because it's not emptiness. The modern term space come from the Greeks who looked up and saw darkness and equated it to nothingness. But the ancestors said that that was a medium there. So, I mean, look at it this way, right? You can have a big cup of water with different things floating in it. And once you stir the cup of water up, all of the things floating in it will follow the pattern of that you're stirring the water. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Now, look, if you look at time-lapse stars of the sky, that's the way we observe them in motion. You have wandering stars and you have fixed stars. And the fixed stars, they don't make this motion. That'll be like stars that are decorated on my cup. They ain't gonna move with the other stuff floating in the cup. Everything in the cup is gonna go the same direction of my stirring. And the sun and moon is doing the same thing too. So When we look up, we all see all of the constellations and all that revolving around the central North Star Polaris. But what they give you is this program that I'm about to play right now. Hold on. They give you this right here instead of what I just showed you. Let's play this. So what they gave the whole world is this. This solar system, this hypnotization spiral, has literally made people go crazy in a hypnotic way. But what's really going on is this above a flat earth. So a lot of people, I'll just stop right there. You may have questions. I don't want to give you too much, but let me give a shout out to DL. Thank you so much for the super chat. He said, hey, bro, I have one more question. Have you seen that video of the moon being overlaid with the continents on the earth? The dark spots on the moon fit some of the land masses perfectly. Seen this? Yeah, I've seen that. I'm gonna weigh in on it real briefly. Thank you. I think it's interesting. I like people being open-minded, but I don't agree with everything I see now. And that's one thing I don't agree with. I don't think the patterns that we see on the moon match what we see on the ground. I think people just want it to match.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. As a globe earther, I actually agree with you. I can put it like this: I can see it your way. I can see it the ancestors' way, because I forgot where I picked up on some of the ancient teaching. I don't go. I know I haven't done as much research as you have, but I do remember the ancestors referring what they call space, the waters. So when you say like density, like me being in Key West, Florida, or just any large body of water, you can see how the waters within the waters separate themselves. So as a globe earther, I can agree, and I could see that. I could see that. Because
And
the thing is, with uh the reason, okay, because I remember hearing about the blue beam project, and the only reason I don't go for the blue beam project is because the Orion's belt, and I can only speak from my experience, but I was seeing the Orion's belt before I realized it was the Orion's belt when I was in my single digits. Probably, I don't know, 7, 9, but I've been seeing that my whole life, and I don't, in my opinion, I don't feel like they keep up with it, with the beams, for with accuracy, and that was so long ago. That was in the early 90s. So it's like I don't see them keeping up with the accuracy and keeping up with that. Cause it ain't no telling. Like, they could have had solar panels back then for all we know. Because I do remember being in middle school when solar panels first came out on the calculator. So solar panels, I know they're not new, but I just don't see them keeping up with the accuracy of the stars on with some beams for that duration all the way up to now. But I do agree with the waters, because the ancients did talk about that. If you guys don't know, the ancients did refer what they call space today. Those are the ancient waters. So I do agree with that.
Can I
okay.
chime in on that, Sanchez?
Yeah, salutes to everybody on the call, for sure.
Yeah, going back to the original Blue Origin thing, what you're saying right there is it's the argument is not flat Earth versus globe Earth when it comes to the Blue Origin. It's keeping you believing that you could actually leave on a rocket ship.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
The first,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm almost there.
My
Because
bad.
the thing first started back when my father told me. Disney did the first moon landing in Hollywood. Okay, in Hollywood. So there's some people, a few people, making a whole lot of money, and they got a big funding, and they want to keep us there's a lot of moving parts. There's a whole lot going on. As long as you keep believing that you're on a rock being dragged through space, and like you showed those stars all circling the North Star, that picture never changes. If we're flying through space, being dragged through space, that's like you on a long road trip, and all you can see is the same hill over. No matter how far you drive, you see the same hill over there. Now I see a mountain far away, but eventually you pass that mountain and you see more mountains. But this theory that we're being dragged through space, we should see something different. We shouldn't see stars going in a circle. We should be seeing something linear.
Right.
Like time is
and,
linear.
And the reason I wanted to build with you is because you're spot on. The way that the sky behaves, if I'm right, think about this, right? If flat earthers are saying the sky is like is moving cyclical in a circular pattern, then guess what? That would explain why the ancestors who were flat earthers were able to make predictions. Because check this out, right? They say that the ancestors was wrong about the shape of the earth, right? But yet they was able to make predictions on comets. The Mayans was able to tell you when this comet or that star would pass. Far into the future, the Vedics knew stuff about the heavens that the scientists say they shouldn't supposed to know. The Dogon and all that making predictions about the sky for thousands of years. And like you said, if we moving through space, we wouldn't even be seeing the same constellations as the ancestors. We would have a different set today. But yet everyone has been making predictions about this same set of stars for thousands of years. There has never been another set. So that right there proves that the ancestors shouldn't have been right about their nature of the heavens being flat earthers. They shouldn't have been correct.
That's why they took that monument down. You know which one I'm talking about? The monument that was focused right there on that star in the center. And it
would have showed that it's all. I see where you're going. Yep, that's facts, bro.
What was it called? It was the what was it called? It had a statement on there to control the population and all that.
Yeah, it had there you go. I was trying to think of it. I was trying to think of it. Yeah, the Georgia Guidestone was synced to Polaris, and it proved flat Earth. And they took that. They took it down, man. They took it. Why would they take that down, man?
Because you'll wake up. They even try to change the definition of woke. You know, when we say woke, we
watch this, dude.
Self-aware in real time.
Look, though.
In real time, no matter how much they keep trying to change it.
The fact that the Georgia Guidestone was synced to Polaris and they called it the Guide Stone, and we use Polaris as a guide is crazy. Right. They trying to make the word guide be some more pseudo type mythological stuff, but it was called a guide stone for the astronomical reasons, for its cosmological connections. And you see, this is crazy.
Hey, could you pull up this Georgia Guidestone?
We can.
We can.
I'll say this. This is a theory of mine, and I think it holds some weight. But here it is, right here. They tore it down, though. They tore this. Why would you tear this down?
They tore that thing down. Yeah. I mean, it was a false prophecy on it, like, saying that you got to reduce population. Now, we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. We ain't supposed to control population. Control of population just means greed.
I need to, you know what? I think we may need to re-examine this and read it with a more. it may be a coded message in there, but I'm willing to entertain it now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I finna say I want to know what it say because it looked like it give me the concept left, right, yin, yang, above, below, with
Kind of
two
look
passages on
masonry,
each
don't it?
side.
Pillars, masonry. You see the
If that's
pillars?
considered masonry,
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of it. Where in Georgia was this?
It was there for years, man, years. And then, you know,
Like,
the whole
like
flat earth
where in
argument.
Georgia? Like Atlanta? Like where?
No, outside Atlanta.
For real?
I've never been
Dang.
to it, so I don't know where it is in Atlanta, but I know it's been there for years. And then lately we've been having this censorship of them breaking that reality that bubble, because when you change the plane into a net and you have a planet, what's in the net is your mind. The planet is your mind in that net. So now they can mentally keep you on a certain mindset because you are believing that, okay, they're going to fly out to heaven. But if they could, common sense. That's what got me on Sanchez all the time. It wasn't the way he talked, it was his common sense. When he look at something, he just give you that common sense thought process. Like when I look at that whole when you have, hey, can you put up that astronaut hanging from the string on the ISS, Sanchez?
Yeah, I'm gonna do my
Yeah, yeah, I
research on
got
this.
you. I got you.
Yeah, that guy hanging from the string. Because it's just
Yeah.
common sense that people don't see. It's like you guys talk about sex magic. We
Uh-huh.
using the word magic. What is magic? How do you make an elephant disappear in a room full of people?
Trickery.
Distraction.
Yep.
Distraction.
Hey,
Exactly. So now you
Marlon,
got
hey,
this.
you be cooking, bro. You already know, though, for sure. Brother, don't
Yeah,
sleep. Yeah.
you be bringing it. So it help me.
Awakening
You could
Minds,
just
you ain't got no
go back.
Instagram link for us today. So I'm surprised he ain't got no gram link for us today.
I
Hey,
do,
go.
bro. And we went viral. I got you in it too. I'm gonna just put it in there, bro. You killed that
Okay,
whole shit.
for sure.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna send
man.
it to you.
I got you.
Now,
Go ahead. Yeah.
y'all were having the satellite discussion earlier, right? And
Mm-hmm.
ask GPT how many satellites is allegedly flying around right now.
Oh man, yo, let's ask Chat GPT that, bro. Yeah. Let's do that real quick.
Ask GPT right quick. Allegedly, how many
Yeah,
is
right at
flying
this
around
moment. In
at this
Leo
moment?
and low Earth orbit or at
Right,
period. Okay. Let me
right.
see.
Got to be like 60,000.
Okay, so how many satellites are orbiting Earth? Let's do Leo first. We're gonna do let's see just in Leo. So, what 7,500, bro? How you maintaining that many
Show the
satellites?
picture again. But show the picture again.
Damn, bro. If you look at the picture of them working on the ISS, you don't see one satellite back there.
That's my point. Common sense. Even if
This is
you can't
facts,
see them, they should be looking like
bro.
hail or
Come
rain.
on.
You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
Marlon,
Surrounding the earth.
I've watched live streams of them working outside the thing where they live, and you should be seeing one whip by at least every couple of minutes. Like if we do the math, if we say let's go to Chat GPT, let's
That
say
right there.
Chat.
Now look at the horizon.
Hold on, I got you. We finna blow this. How we gonna debunk it with math? I'm gonna ask Chat GPT, right? Mathematically, right? With 7,500 satellites in space in Leo, how many should I see whipped by my camera on average? Whipped by my camera on average if I'm filming. See, Chat GPT gonna do a formula and let us know this right now. And ain't nobody gonna argue with no math. Let's go. It's doing the formula. Let's go. It said Since there are 7,500 satellites spread roughly evenly, not perfect, but assume even for rough math at any moment, boom, 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 let me see. It say about 0.18 satellites would be in your field of view at a random moment. So maybe one satellite every 5 to 6 minutes. Now watch this, y'all. I've watched the ISS and they've been out there for 10, 30 minutes, damn near an hour with the camera on the outside of the ISS, and you don't see one satellite the whole time. Chat GPT did the math. It said if there are that many satellites in Leo, we should see one every 5 to 6 minutes. Now, who want to argue with the math?
Okay.
You see, this
Exactly.
how you do. I ain't no globe earthers gonna come argue with this. This is just math. They just worked out the whole formula. If it's 7,500 of them up there.
The best answer I could say for a globe earther is I don't believe it's that many satellites up there.
But
Well,
you still believe
listen,
it?
now
Hey,
listen. Now watch this, right?
okay, I feel you. I
Now
feel
hold
you, though.
on.
I
Now
feel
hold on.
But it's
Hold
giving
on.
you
Wait.
much to work with.
Please.
I'm sorry.
Here's what I want to cut in. If they say that, right? Now they're gonna slowly decrease the amount of satellites till they start saying, you know what, maybe it ain't none up there like what we saying. Cause now we got y'all backpedaling, subtracting their amount now. Cause the math scary that I'm showing. But check this out. Now we got them doubting what the people in power is telling us, which is what we doing, and we getting ridiculed for it. So when we say ain't no satellites up there, the people that's saying they all are up there will now say, well, maybe not all, maybe about 4,000. And then if we do the math for that, and it say you should see one every, let's say 10, 15 minutes, then they'll say, well, maybe it's 2,000. And they'll keep shrinking the amount going against what the people said who they supposed to be defending. And that right there ain't good. But it say here, at night, if you're filming with the long exposure or tracking for 10 to 30 minutes, you would probably catch several satellites. But we don't do that when we watching the ISS footage. We don't see them whip by. You know, that's hard to fake. It'll look fake as hell. That's why.
Hey,
You should be able to see that
I got another question
Elon's
for you to
car up
ask.
there too.
Man, build on
Hey,
the cell
Sanchez.
phone shit, bro. I'm a radio frequency engineer. I build cell sites for a living. Your cell signal that you use on your cell phone is directly coming from a cell tower, not a satellite.
Exactly.
If you're willing to
I
share
believe
screen,
that.
I can show you me on top of a cell site behind an antenna where the radio frequency signal is coming from. So you hit the nail right on the head earlier when you said when you go up into the mountains and your cell signal don't get better, it gets worse. How could that be possible if you were getting your cell signal from a satellite? Impossible. It comes from a 500-foot tower.
Hey, do you have the disguised ones that look like palm trees? You don't
I
put that. I
built
know
those.
you don't put it.
I've
Huh?
built those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
don't
put
like you
high
you go
flat
to
earthers,
definition.
man.
Gatlinburg.
Y'all
You go to
challenging my
Gatlin.
ideology, man. I don't like you flat earthers, man. Quit
That's
challenging my
called it's
ideology.
called a stealth tower. It looks like a palm tree, but it's really a
Yeah.
tower. The same
It's
thing
really a
inside of
tower.
most church
Now,
steeples. You look and you see a point. That's not just a point up there. It's cell site activity going on underneath it.
See,
Yo, I went.
I believe that because when you go out in the country, like I said, I'm from Alabama, so that's one thing I did peep. Like when I go out in the country, I get to losing my signal. So when Sanchez first started speaking on this knowledge about the cell phone tower and on satellites, as a globe earther with that, I never did doubt that because that make total sense to me.
Yeah. Hang on real quick. I went to Clinch Mountain in Tennessee, the highest point in Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains. You couldn't get the signal to save your life for 4 or 5 hours. So you're right.
Y'all want to know what the whole flat earth arguments really boil down to? Sanchez,
yeah.
Sanchez, can you
Yeah.
call up how much money NASA make daily?
NASA make probably around 70 to 85 million dollars per day, even on Sundays. That's 365 days a year. Yeah.
Days a year.
Yeah, they make 20 billion a year.
But you got to go back all the way to the 60s. They've been it's been going up every year since the 60s.
Look, and let me show the people what they paying for though. Look, watch this, right? Let me show them y'all paying for a space program, but what they ain't telling you, it's literally a fucking program in a computer that they making with CGI. Because all of the physical technology that should be in space that you spending your tax dollars on, why come we don't got pictures of it, man? Like, why do we gotta have fake pictures of real stuff? If somebody say, Sanchez, I'm gonna give you my money and I want you to go buy me a satellite because we don't know how to make them. We don't know nothing about this stuff. Take my money and buy me a couple satellites. And I say, okay, and Sanchez come back to you and say, okay, man, let me see my satellites. I gave you my money, show me my satellites. And you show me this right here.
Okay, can you go to one of those pictures?
You show me this when I ask for my satellites, right? And I'm saying, damn, this what I spent my money on, fake images, on top of fake images to prove more stuff with fake images. But this is what we do with the space program. Like, we just told you how much money they make. And all you get is a series of these CGI photos. If I say, show me an image from the James Webb Telescope, guess what? More CGI, more cartoons. These are some expensive cartoons, man. You're not seeing your money. Now, they'll show you this on the ground, and they'll launch that off of the earth somewhere. They'll launch it in a latitude and longitude on a coordinate map where it's on some uncharted island somewhere, and they just gonna destroy it. And they'll tell you, oh, it's in space, bringing us image. We got satellites that's been in space since you've been a little bitty boy, and they still getting crystal clear images. Your iPhone can barely get images that clear. Like, you got satellites that's been in orbit for decades, and they still giving us images that's iPhone quality with no dust on the lens, no scratches. And we believe it, though. They'll show you this right here. We will spend billions on this with our tax dollars. And they will say, we launched it in space, and it's bringing us all these beautiful images. And all they got to do is give you fake CGI images and say, oh, look at these beautiful images that the James Webb Telescope brought back today. And this thing can be going through space at, let me show y'all something real quick, right? Let me do some more math. How fast is the James Webb Telescope going? Because guess what? There's something called motion blur. And the James Webb Telescope going 67,000 miles per hour. Can you imagine trying to take a photo going that fast and not taking a complete blur of an image? But you believe this stuff. We believe it. It's so many micrometeors and asteroids and things to get out the way from, and they dodge and all that from a remote control on Earth, right? This is what y'all believe, that the James Webb Telescope going through space at 67,000 miles per hour, and they able to steer around asteroids and big boulders and rocks at that speed. They able to, and they can keep missing shit to where we never say, up the James Webb just hit something, up a rock just hit the James Webb. It's just perfect. No accidents never happen. The picture's always clear, and you believe this stuff. Somebody on Earth is steering, someone out on Earth is steering this with a remote control at all times, 67,000 miles per hour. They ain't never crashing into nothing, and nothing never crashing into them. And we getting beautiful images that's never a blur. But anyway, y'all voted the Globe Troll on Brenda. So my only thing now is y'all got to support the show for the headache that y'all about to give me. Thank you all.
Why would
in
the
advance.
James Webb smash into something, bro?
But why would something
Why
smash
would it
into the
not?
James Webb?
Tell me why would it not? And I'll explain why it should.
I'll tell you why.
Aren't there a lot of debris and micrometeoroids and macrometeoroids and just all of this space debris at all times? Space ain't just a clean place for us, what they taught us. I heard there's always stuff floating around that can be that is so much so that there's a potential that Earth can be hit by something at any given moment. So why it ain't the same for that the James Webb Telescope can be hit by some at any given moment? It's just another object in space like Earth, right? The threat should be the same for all objects. Go ahead.
Yeah. So how did you come to decide that it ought to have smashed into something?
Well, what I'm saying is this right here. The reasons it wouldn't smash into nothing is if it's just such good luck, or is that it's the person who's controlling it, they are just an immaculate pilot, because cars crash into stuff. Like when I get in my car, I gotta assume that some drunk driver can smash into me, or that if I'm not paying attention, I can smash into somebody. Why would not assume that for a $20 billion vehicle? But I'm still talking. The James Webb Telescope is more expensive than my car, and I'm always worrying about a crash. So if I was at a vehicle like the James Webb Telescope, I would be worried about collisions as well. I don't know why I wouldn't be worrying about collisions if they would be a threat up there.
Well, what would be a third reason why? You gave two. What would be the third reason?
Crashes and collisions are just a part of everyday life. Did you see the plane collide with the other plane on the news about a few weeks ago?
Yeah, but how does that apply to the James Webb?
I'm about to get to that.
Apply to the James Webb?
I'm about to get to that. So if you saw that, what I'm saying is, you asked me, why should I assume that the James Webb Telescope?
That's not what I asked you.
Hold on. I can rewind the video.
That's not what I asked you, bro.
You can rephrase it and then I'll rewind the video for sure.
Don't put words in my mouth, bro.
Rephrase it.
I asked you, how did you decide that it ought to have smashed into something by now?
Okay, and I'm gonna answer your question. I didn't decide that when I wake up and crank up my car that there's a chance I can smash into something or something to smash into me. It's just a part of reality. It's not a decision I made. It's just the world we live in. And somebody put it on a t-shirt. It's called shit happens. So my thing is, what is the probability of shit going wrong in space? I was taught that the probability of shit going wrong in space is very high, which is why I'm questioning why nothing never go wrong in these intricate technologies that's whirling through such a dangerous space at such dangerous speeds. Because if I was going in those speeds in my car, I would definitely be worried about a collision. Duh. And it wouldn't be a decision that I made. It'll be a reality of me traveling at 69,000 miles per hour with obstacles around me. That's just common sense. That's not a decision Sanchez made. That's just a reality of me going at these dangerous speeds surrounded by things that I can crash into. I mean, that ain't a decision.
So
that's just a reality.
It is a decision that you made. You said it should have bumped into something by now.
Yeah, and I'm standing by that.
You came to a
standing
decision.
by that.
Yeah, that's a decision.
That ain't a decision. That's a conclusion. If a child say, "Hey, Daddy, I'm gonna get in my car and go 69,000 miles per hour on the highway," I'm gonna say, guess what? You're gonna have a crash. And if somebody say, why did you assume they gonna have a crash going that fast? Man, listen, if you going at 70 miles per hour, you could potentially have a crash. This thing going at 69,000 miles per hour, and it's surrounded by more stuff than me on the highway.
Well, me it's on not on the highway, though,
listen,
bro. It's not on the highway.
And I know it's not. Have you ever heard of comparisons? If you don't know what if you don't know what a comparison is, I can't. I'm still trying to talk real quick. I'm landing my plane. If you don't know what comparisons are, I can't debate you because it's like I'm debating a special ed student. Because if I can't make comparisons without you understanding what I'm doing, it's like you're autistic at this point. Humans make comparisons.
Yeah, it's a bad
That's
comparison.
a thing. Well, you can say that. I'll go even let you say that other than just to act like you don't know what I'm doing.
If you would give me the same consideration I'm supposed to give you and let me finish my sentences.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, so it's a bad comparison because it's out in space. It's not on the highway, right? And there are asteroids out there, but they're millions and millions of miles away. So no, it's not going to bump into things because space is big and the distances are huge.
But what about micrometeoroids? Don't they fill up more of space than anything? Shouldn't that scratch the lens at those speeds? Because if I'm holding my hand out my car on the highway, I can feel little sharks. It stings. It's little bitty fine sharks. That would scratch a lens. If I held my camera out the window on the highway 100 miles per hour for a whole week, my lens would start to be scratched. Significant amount of wear would be on it. So I'm saying, what are the lenses made to these cameras to where we can get these beautiful, pristine images? That's another thing I'm fascinated about, which is the technology. It makes me doubt the realness of it because I know it's easier to just give us CGI than to make some technology that can actually withstand, like a camera that's taking a picture at 69,000 miles per hour and it ain't blurred. Is better than the picture that I'm taking when I'm being still.
That's because the things are far away. And
Oh
also
my
there's
God.
no air. There's no air. So there's not going to get scratching the lens, right?
Oh my God.
The stars are far away. That's why they don't get
That's one thing I
blurred.
don't understand.
So what I don't get is how they say that the entire moon surface is basically scratched up, scarred up, and cratered up because it's been in space over time for so long with stuff smashing into it, right? And they also say that if we didn't have the moon, a lot of those craters, those things would have hit Earth, so the moon kind of shielding us. But then if you talk about a satellite constantly getting smashed and beat up in space, they'll tell you, well, that's indestructible because the nature of space, but yet the moon can be cratered up and looking like a piece of shit because y'all saying space is so dangerous. Can y'all make up y'all mind? Because you say that the moon is a satellite too, and that particular satellite is beat the hell up due to space. What about the other ones? They just indestructible?
I'll explain it to you. The moon has been up there for billions of years.
Oh my
James
God.
Webb has been up there for just a couple years, right? There's a big difference. In a 100 years, the James Webb will be beaten up. But right now, it hasn't been hit enough.
So, but listen,
No. What about the Voyagers?
Listen. There are satellites that we retired that was giving us crystal clear images up until they died. And I'm like, if they are gradually, being destroyed or, being degraded over time, why don't the images gradually lose quality? They don't. We get the same quality images from that satellite that we got when they first put it up there to the moment it died. So what you said makes me question that too. I'm just having my doubts.
So
you're
conceding the point on James Webb then, because you switched to different satellites then. So I take that as a concession.
Well, my thing is this right here. My debate ain't just for James Webb Telescope. I'm not just picking on James Webb. I brought it up because we was talking about satellites in general, and it's just one of many.
Yeah, but it's in Lagrange point 2. It's far away. The satellites
I'm
that
not
are orbiting
conceding
the Earth are
any
low
points.
If
that's what you're asking.
You switched because you didn't have anything else to say.
Okay, thank you. You won the debate right there. Next, somebody was trying to cut in. You win. Okay, I'm not gonna be childish with you. The people can hear the conversation and determine. Right, the people are gonna. Damn, please let's not cut each other off, y'all. The people are going to hear the conversation, and they're going to determine on who's making the most sense or not, Brenda. So I ain't trying to be childish with you. But there was somebody trying to cut in, and then after them, Marlon, you can go.
Hey, Sanchez, I think it's simple. But I got a question after I make the simple statement. I think that like when they're not taking pictures or recording, they just probably have a cover to where they can cover up the lens. But what don't make sense about so-called space is he just said, and I heard it on documentaries too, that there's no air up there. So how the hell is it going that fast? That's what I don't understand.
Do you want me to explain it to you?
Yes, tell me how
Yeah,
it's picking up
okay.
that much speed without no air.
Because of Newton's first law, right? An
Okay.
object in motion will stay in motion until it's acted upon by force. So there's no friction. So if you give it a certain amount of motion, it will stay at that speed.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Well,
We teach
can I
this
ask,
to children.
That's
We teach this to
that's a
children, like 12-year-old children. We teach this to them in school.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't
You know,
have
I
problem
would like
learning
to.
things
Oh,
new.
okay, go ahead. I don't want to cut the other brother off, but I do want to
Go
say
ahead,
something
Sanchez.
about real quick. This is what I want people to learn. I'm pretty sure, and I can speak for everybody on the panel. I don't know them, but I'm gonna take a gamble. I believe that 90% of the people in my chat room and on this call graduated high school. I graduated high school. Guess what that means? I passed all my globe earth classes. I demonstrated the fact that I understand how space works and how the globe works as they wouldn't have gave me a high school diploma. So listen, I want to explain something to y'all. In school, they tell you something. And if you remember what they told you when the test come, you get the answer right. That ain't really learning. That's being programmed for me to tell you what I told your ass to say when you really think about it. Now, let me tell you something, bro. I don't think a person is smart because they remember what they was told to say. I think a person is smart when they get wise enough to challenge what they was told to say. So the people that's challenging what we were told, you trying to act like we don't know what we were told, but you got to know what the hell you were told in order to challenge it. In order to repeat what you was told, you don't gotta know it at all. All you gotta do is remember what the answer was. Tell me I'm lying, y'all. Tell me I'm lying.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro Sanchez, I'll say one thing.
Tell me I'm lying,
America's,
in order for you to get to a point where you can challenge what you was told, that means you must fully understand what you told. If you trying to debate your teacher now, that means I'm smarter than every student in the class that's just repeating the teacher's answer. I'm telling the teacher you wrong and I can prove you wrong. That mean I must be smart as hell to be that. I'm cocky as hell one, egotistical as one.
Bro, American schools are terrible. They really are.
Where did you go to school at, Brenda?
In Minnesota.
You're proof that they're terrible because they don't teach us to challenge what we're being told. They teach us to be consumers and just to raise your hand and repeat the answer. Columbus discovered America. I'm the guy that'll say Columbus didn't discover America. There were people here before Columbus got here. You're wrong, Mr. History teacher. And they can laugh at me all they want. A smart mind is one that thinks and prove all things like the Bible say. It's inquisitive. It challenges. It don't just regurgitate. That's a zombie. That's a drone. That's a sheeple.
I was never taught to just regurgitate. That's not how I was taught.
Well, that's what you're doing, though.
No, it's not what I'm doing.
You don't really challenge what you're told. You mad at the people that
because
challenge
I
it.
do challenge it. Right?
I got a question for
I
Brenda.
did challenge it. I understood there's a difference between repeating, getting indoctrinated and getting educated. I was educated, and I'm sorry if a lot of people in the United States, including you, bro Sanchez, were indoctrinated, but that wasn't the school system that I was in. Well, you said you were indoctrinated.
What I'm telling you is this right here. I explained what indoctrination was. And I said, if that's the way you learned coming up, then that's indoctrination, not education.
Yeah, that's not how I was taught.
And okay, but listen, I'm still speaking. What I'm saying is, in your school, if they taught you something and explain, for example, in history class, I was taught black people come from Africa. They came over during the transatlantic slave trade. Christopher Columbus discovered America. This is what I was taught. Then when I was tested on what I was told, if I would have challenged that, I wouldn't have passed school. And I'm saying I should have been able to challenge my teacher in a natural learning environment.
Yeah.
In Nazi Germany, students wasn't allowed to challenge in that education system. It was split up with bell rings. They modeled our whole system off of that. You can look that up. But in a natural learning environment, a student would be able to say, that don't make any sense.
Well,
Why
that's
is
how
that?
I was taught. I'm sorry it was. I'm sorry it was not good for you, but I had apparently a better system, right?
Well,
so not
well,
everybody was taught the way you.
Before we jump the gun and go into all that, my thing is this right here. Do you have your diploma or GED? We can start there because there's levels to this thing.
Yeah, I graduated from high school. I've
What do
taken
you
courses
got? Do you have your diploma?
From high school? Yes.
Yeah. And okay, because I was making sure you didn't, ain't nothing wrong with a GED, but I just wanted to establish that, make sure you didn't have the GED. You sure it ain't?
1975, bro.
Hey, look, ain't that, but check this out. Here's what I want to say right here. In my school, the science teacher taught us we were on a globe. It was spinning at a certain speed and all that, and I passed the class. Right now, you're here to debate me, flat earth, globe earth. So when you say that my education system failed me, I'm saying based upon a debate that we're having tonight, my science teacher would agree with you, Brenda. So I don't understand why you trying to slyway insult me. Type the word insult in the chat.
I'm not trying to insult you, dude.
Type the word insult in the chat if y'all see the shot. Because you was spitting your mouth. Well, apparently my school was better than yours. Like, come on, bro. They don't do that.
Well, what is it? Do American schools indoctrinate or do they educate people?
I think that they do indoctrination. Me personally.
Yeah.
And hold on. Here's
so
but
that
you gotta
means
give
you
me a
were
reason. No, you gotta give me a reason to explain
Yeah,
why
that
you
means
were.
you were indoctrinated.
No, and you were too by what I'm saying. If you'll give me the minute to speak. You ain't gonna put words in my mouth.
That's not true because
you,
not every
you ain't gonna. But you gotta let me. If I'm making an argument, you can't explain my argument for me. You putting words in my mouth now. If I made an argument, you gotta let me expound on it. You ain't being fair. I said you were indoctrinated. Now you gotta let me explain why I say that. You can't explain that for me. You gotta be quiet and let me explain it. So the reason I said you were indoctrinated, I'm finna give you an example right now. Who discovered America according to your high school history teacher?
The Vikings.
You see, now watch this, right? In your high school, they didn't teach you that Christopher Columbus was the first European, or that he discovered the Americans. They didn't teach you that?
No, they taught us that the Vikings were probably the first people over here because there's some evidence that the Vikings traveled to.
Okay, now watch this.
The American continent.
Now watch this. Watch this. If somebody said, who's right about it? Because Brenda is from Minnesota, so they teach him that the Vikings discovered America. Now, I'm from the South. I learned about the Nina Pina Santa Maria. I was taught Columbus like most of y'all. Now, listen. When a person try to say, well, I'm smarter than you, could it be that the education systems here are teaching us all a bullshit history and they got the person, everybody think that their way is the right way, just like religious systems? So if you will say, well, no, the Vikings did it. And I will say, well, no, Columbus did it. And we'll be divided about it instead of us saying, wait a minute, what if neither one of them did it? What if everybody getting told a different lie and being divided and conquered and we're arguing about who got it right when everybody wrong? So guess what I did? Since the education system is flawed and it ain't consistent when it comes to a historical timeline, you know what I recommend every man and woman do? Do their own research. Think for themselves. Prove all things. You got the ability to go out here and research and prove what's right or wrong yourself. Every man got that ability. But a lot of people don't have the time to do it, which is why we just believe the experts. But all of the experts are inconsistent, and you just proved it. Your system taught you the Vikings. Mine taught me Columbus. I was talking to some people from another country one day, Brenda. They say in their country, they teach them a whole different person discovered America. So it seems like
Who is that?
hold on a second. Hold on a second. It seems like can't nobody say I'm right and you wrong. We all got to admit, why the hell are all of our historical timelines inconsistent? Because if I say, well, I'm right, you wrong, when you know what I'm saying, I think that there's really no one answer among historians. Hold on, if you do that again, I gotta boot you. You making me feel rushed. I'm trying to land my plane, and then that's what I'm trying to land, man. Chill out. Listen what I'm telling you. Historians don't all agree on one damn answer, which is why around the world where history is being taught, there's no one consistent answer. And your answer to that is our education system is flawed. It's that way by design. It's inconsistent on purpose. There's an agenda behind it. So my thing is this, it don't mean I'm smart, you're dumb, I'm smart. It mean the historians never agreed on one damn answer, and that there are several theories about any particular topic, and they don't want us to explore all of the theories. And most education systems in your state, they got a curriculum that's based upon that particular state's agenda. Now, this is my conspiracy theory. It ain't up for debate. Everyone can speculate about the agenda of those in power, and that don't make them stupid. It make you stupid if you don't. But I'm not gonna speak too long. I'll land right there where I stand.
You can land right there. So there's nothing wrong with there being different theories and for experts to have differing problems. There's nothing wrong with that. What you're doing is called black and white thinking. The things have to either be right or wrong 100%.
No, I didn't say that. But I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I just pointed that out.
You can have multiple experts.
I agree with you.
Different
I
ideas.
agree with you on all of this. I've never said that. You putting that in my mouth.
You just did say that.
No, I didn't. But you acting like I had something wrong with it. I wasn't mad at it. What I was saying was, people should know that the reason they taught me something different from you, Brenda, ain't because I was failed and that you wasn't. Because you was making it like you're so smarter than me, your school is better than mine, and I had to correct you and let you know, wait a minute, there are several theories on different things. My school just taught one, your school taught one. Are you retarded? Do you forget why I go into stuff? Because I'm getting exhausted with you.
What I'm saying is that there can be schools that have a poor pedagogical technique where they simply teach to the test. I was not taught that way. I was not taught to the test. We did research. We did experiments in our science classes. That validated the material we were taught. We were not.
What experiment that you did to prove diamond planets, Andromeda, and other galaxies out there?
Well, what we did was we proved gravity.
How does that prove Andromeda and diamond planets?
That wasn't something anybody knew back then.
Oh, they taught me about faraway places. We have beautiful pictures of these places in our textbook. So that means I probably learned more than you.
What place?
Man, I learned about other galaxies in my science class. If you telling me in your science class you didn't learn about other galaxies outside the Milky Way, you was failed, not me.
You can see Andromeda with the naked eye.
Okay, y'all heard this man.
You can see the Andromeda galaxy. You can see it with your eye.
Okay, cool.
That's
okay. And the fact that you can mean it ain't far away, as they say. That's crazy as hell.
That doesn't mean that. That's not what it means. You're just denying it.
Listen, don't nobody have no facts about this. It's all theories, and I can deny a theory, but I can't deny a fact. That's my problem with you. people think that theories are undeniable. Like, bro, if it's a theory, it's still in the realm to be challenged. When it become a fact, I'll shut my mouth. But long as this thing is theoretical, I'm gonna challenge it so we can get to the facts. They're still trying to figure out space. They don't even know what dark matter is. They ain't even consistent on their numbers. I can show you the evolution of this model where they have had different distances and different inconsistencies with the model numbers, where it went from the earth traveling at this amount to that amount. There's been an evolution of the facts on this model. So what I'm saying is, tomorrow they can change their mind and say we was wrong about this. This is what it is now. Just like they have been saying that the universe is expanding for years, but they're teaching that the moon is getting closer to the earth. How can the moon be getting closer to the earth if the universe is expanding? And if you can't see the inconsistencies in some of this stuff, then I can't help it that critical thinking ain't something everyone do, man.
Yeah, so why can't the moon be moving closer to us while the universe is expanding?
He gonna take what they tell him and try to explain it, y'all. He just gonna, that's what I mean about not challenging theories when they're not facts, bro. Sometimes it can be because what they said ain't right. The universe is
that it's not right.
The universe. I am showing it, because check this out. If everything in the universe is moving away from me, but yet another scientist releases an article that go viral where they say that the moon is falling to the earth, getting closer. And I say, well, look, y'all have inconsistency problems, just like we just pointed out with the historians. Here's why I'm thinking Brenda is autistic. Hear me out, y'all. And I swear I'm not trying to be funny. We went through a whole spiel about historians not being consistent on the data, but he think every space expert is consistent. So there are some space experts that are teaching things inconsistent of the universe expanding. But what you space fanatics do, y'all try to make all the bullshit make sense versus saying what we saying earlier about the historians, that they're not all consistent. That's just it. It ain't that I'm dumb or you're dumb. It's just that there's no one answer to any of these things. And even the space experts have inconsistencies in it, that the same thing we pointed out with the historians. Why you think I went into all of that? People, this is really getting exhausting. We got to reach the goal. Let me show some love to the donators, man. Because,
hey,
bro, you just don't, it's like you want to be ignorant on purpose. Like, this is, it's exhausting. It's tiring, this kind of stupidity. But let me just show some love real quick.
I want to ask you about the
You mind if I pay the bills? Every show got commercial breaks. I'm going to take a few seconds.
Buddy.
Shout out to Lewis Russell. He said globe heads are really slow. We're talking hella slow. And it's sad at this point. A 70-year-old traveling 2,000 miles per hour and safe and happy at the end. Right. No whiplash even, nothing, not even whiplash. Shout out to Hydrogen for the donation. And shout out to everybody that's supporting the show, sponsoring the show tonight via Cash App and Super Chat. We're going to read all of the Cash Apps as well at the end of the show. So if you sit there in a Cash App and if you don't want it read, put don't read. Other than that, we're gonna read all of the Cash Apps here in a minute. Thank y'all so much. Brenda, you got it.
Yeah, I wasn't here early. You're 3 hours into this. What was your proof that the Bezos launch was faked?
You gotta go watch my viral video. It's about 100,000 views now.
Can you just sum it up in a couple of words for me?
Oh, you already exhausted me. Now I got to be redundant again, man. So that's why I say, people, please show your support and support the show. We appreciate y'all, because I ain't gonna lie, I do got a mild headache messing with Brenda, because I gotta repeat myself a lot. And that's why I said, why can't I ever get a debater that show up and say, Sanchez, I watched your video, I wrote the points down, I got smoke for you, I'm prepared, you ain't gotta tell me nothing, Sanchez. Here go what you said at this time stamp, Sanchez, and this is why you're wrong. Drop my link, Sanchez. This is the link to your video. I time-stamped my arguments that I got for you, Sanchez. I didn't just show up lazy as hell, want Sanchez to present. And that's the problem with you globe heads. Because when I go to somebody with my debate ready and I'm ready to debate them, they ain't got to fill me in on shit. I'm showing up knowing what kind of smoke I got from them, what they said that I disagree with it. My arguments already made. They gonna be like, damn, he got a whole bullet point for my ass. He didn't show up ill-prepared, lazy as hell. That's why you're annoying, because we ain't the same. When I go on somebody's show with smoke, bro, I don't need this much help. Tell me what you was talking about earlier. Can you feel me? You ain't come prepared. Because
dude,
now
we're just
I got
talking. We're just talking, dude. It's not a debate.
It is. Talking. Quit acting like you're not getting me to talk to debate me, man. Come on, don't do that with me. You pulling my leg.
I just want to know what your what's your main reason? What's the one reason?
No. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go watch the video that I made and then come back on a future show with your talking points ready. I'm tired of doing y'all work for y'all, because when I was going to people's channels debating, I was a different kind of beast, and I don't like y'all lazy, ill-prepared damn TikTok debaters. Your voice even sound like you sleepy right now. You're just very draining. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
We're just talking, dude. It's not a formal debate. So what's your biggest objection to the or proof that it was fake?
Okay,
I don't see any reason to think it's
fake.
fake.
I got you.
Or you can't do it. Okay,
I got you.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
I got you.
You
I got you.
do
I got you. I got you.
You're not able to give your argument.
You.
I understand.
Y'all see him. I told him I got him, but he talking. Oh, you see what I'm saying about draining? I just said, okay, I got you. I'm finna tell you, and now he want to talk over. So look at what I'm saying. The human body can't go from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour in 20 seconds, and you're not soup. Your vessels ain't damaged. Impossible.
So how much G's did they pull as they were accelerating?
4 G's.
No, yeah, that's not very much. Most people can handle 4 G's.
Okay, but what I'm telling you is the math don't math, because them telling me that they felt 4 G's versus me doing the math and understanding that if I go from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour, you're gonna experience anywhere from between 72,000 G's to 80,000 G's. And you can verify that with a calculator, with math. This ain't numbers I'm making up. This is the facts. If you accelerated from 0 to 2,300 miles per hour in 20 seconds, your body gonna feel 80,000 G's. That's the facts. Now, what they said is that Gail King and all of her crew, that's how fast they accelerated, but they only felt 4 G's. I don't go by what people say. I go by the facts. And the facts is, if you do those type of numbers, here go the amount of G's you would experience. And if you really wanna, if you wanna go on ChatGPT to validate this or get your calculator, whatever you wanna do, I just made a claim, and I'm telling you, if you do the math, prove me wrong.
No, you need to show it. Number 2, speed isn't acceleration.
I didn't talk about speed. I didn't never mention the word speed.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. Listen, I said accelerated.
Yes,
I said no, I didn't.
No, you said speed.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Well, then I was wrong. Let me repeat what. And I want everybody to rewind the video and on the panel. Did I say accelerate or speed? Because I just said it. I said they accelerate. Let me rewind the damn thing right now, because I can nip this in the bud right now. And I was wrong. Let me have inconsistencies in it. That the same thing we pointed out with the historians. Why? And then come back on a future show with your talking points ready. I'm tired of doing y'all work for y'all, because when I was going to people's channels debating, I was a different kind of I say the word accelerate, I'm a boot beast, and I don't like y'all lazy, ill-prepared damn TikTok debaters. Your voice even sound like you sleepy right now. You're just very draining. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
We're just talking, dude. It's not a formal debate. So what's your biggest objection to the or proof that it was fake?
Okay,
I don't see any reason to think
I
it's fake.
got you.
Or you can't do it. Okay,
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
You're not able to give your argument. I understand.
Y'all see him? I told him I got him, but he talking. You see what I'm saying about draining? I just said, okay, I got you. I'm finna tell you, and now he want to talk over. So look at what I'm saying. The human body can't go from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour in 20 seconds.
There's
and
your
you're
speed.
Not
There's speed,
your
not acceleration. 0 to 20.
If you cut off again while we playing the video,
you said speed.
I didn't even say that. I said go on. Listening
you
to
said
the
speed, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna take you off now. You're a liar. We listening to the video. Y'all see that Brenda was a big liar. Why I said she shouldn't bring the shit on? You see, the person ain't even truthful to themselves. I know they ain't gonna be truthful to us. It's just a low-spirited, horrible person. Horrible person. You know you're a horrible being when we're all listening to the video and I didn't say the word speed. We playing the video. Tell me that ain't a demon, y'all. That person is so demonic that they don't think we're gonna ignore what our ears hearing to believe their dumb lies, evil lies. Let's play the video. From 0 miles per hour to 23 and then come back on a future show with your talking points ready. I'm tired of doing y'all work for y'all because when I was going to people's channels debating, I was a different kind of beast, and I don't like y'all lazy, ill-prepared damn TikTok debaters. Your voice even sound like you sleepy right now. You're just very draining. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
We're just talking, dude. It's not a formal debate. So what's your biggest objection to the or proof that it was fake?
Okay,
I don't see any reason to think it's
I
fake.
got you.
Or you can't do it. Okay,
I got you.
right,
I got you.
right.
Let me say y'all something about charlatans and see why I say y'all need to support the show because I don't make enough of these kind of heads. I gotta deal with some of the most horrible people on earth. I'm playing a video back. He can hear it too. She can hear it too. And this is a horrible person. They act like all of us are wrong and they're right. Listen to the video. I got you.
You're not able to give your argument. I understand.
Y'all see him. I told him I got him, but he talking. You see what I'm saying about draining? I just said, okay, I got you. I'm finna tell you. And now he want to talk over. So look at what I'm saying. The human body. Show me where I say speed. I said go from. Listen, can't go from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour. That's all acceleration, not speed. Something wrong from this to that is acceleration. Brenda is so damn dumb. I say my car goes from 0 to 100 in this amount of time. That's not me talking about speed. The speed would be how fast it can go, period. And I would say 200 miles per hour. But if I'm telling you how fast it goes from 0 to 200, that's an acceleration conversation. And that's what I said. They went from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour. In 20 seconds, we are having an acceleration conversation, not a speed conversation. My argument is not about them going to 2,300 miles per hour. My argument is about them going from 0 to 2,300 in 20 seconds. That is an acceleration argument. All of the global are coming on my content talking about I'm making a speed argument. But it's about acceleration. When they know that I'm making an acceleration argument. I'm talking about how fast it's going from 0 to its maximum speed. I'm not even dealing with the 2,300.
Yo, nobody can hear you, man.
I thought it was just me. You got the same thing, huh?
I got a question for Brenda since he knows he making me feel bad as a global.
You gotta stop talking to me. So check it out. What I was saying was this. Chill out a second, everybody on the panel.
Damn vampire.
I'm gonna have to boot the whole panel if y'all can't. Can y'all hear my voice?
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
we can hear you now.
So this
We
what I'm
couldn't hear you
saying,
before.
man. All right. So they said it was static on my mic, so I gotta repeat myself. What I was saying was this right here. Brenda is saying that I said speed, but if you listen to the video, what I said was go from. Brenda is saying me bringing up the fact that they went from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour is me dealing with speed. But check it out, that's an acceleration topic. If you talking about a car going from 0 to 200 in a certain amount of time, that ain't a speed conversation, that's an acceleration conversation. All right? So listen, Brenda just said, I used the word speed, but I'm gonna play the video back for y'all real quick. Listen, an hour and 20 seconds and you're not heads. Because when I go to somebody with my debate ready and I'm ready to debate them, listen y'all, show up and say, Sanchez, our future show, which you're talking 2,300 miles per hour and a 2,000 G's to 80,000. Because them telling me that they gonna tell you, and now he want to talk over. Listen y'all, so look at what I'm saying. The human body can't go from 0 miles per hour to 2,300 miles per hour. Where did I say speed? I didn't use the word speed. I said go from. Did y'all hear that on the panel? Were y'all able to hear that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
we
just
heard you
trying
loud
to
and clear.
find any small thing that you said wrong, like anything.
But let me
She
keep cooking though. Let me keep cooking. I need everyone in the chat room to drop liar in all caps, and we're not letting Brenda back on any shows no more. That's why I told, because guess what? I be telling people, I say, look, we gonna let Brenda on and we'll do what y'all wanna do if you do what I wanna do. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying, listen, the deal with people like him, she, you gotta support the show. It's a headache. Shout out to Flat Out Fudge. And listen, not only did I not say speed, I literally said acceleration. Flat Out Fudge is right. If I keep playing a video, I would even say, can't nobody accelerate that fast and not be soup. I didn't say speed at all. I said accelerate. And the whole thing is, it wouldn't matter what I said, even if I said speed. Brenda should have said, hey man, what you're talking about is acceleration. That ain't speed. And Brenda should have corrected me. But Brenda know that my argument is so fire, which is why they just want to play around and say, you said this, and they know I didn't say it, but they don't have another argument against me, so they rather run from it and opt out by saying something that they know I didn't say, because they know that I'm going to spend my time proving that I didn't say that, versus them trying to counter to my argument. So instead of Brenda having a counter argument to the dagger that I dropped, Brenda copped out by saying that I said something I didn't say. And now that way we can now pull footage and try to see what I said. And Brenda now have left the show. So it was a way for them to run, y'all. Brenda didn't want no smoke. They want, and I'm finna play the video. Listen, in 20 seconds and you're not soup. Your vessels ain't damaged. Listen, impossible.
So how much G's did they pull as they were accelerating?
4G. Think about this. Brenda even just said accelerate. What a liar. We're having a conversation about acceleration, and I didn't correct Brenda and say, wait a minute, Brenda, they didn't accelerate. It's just the speed. So we both clear that we're talking about acceleration. I know I'm talking about acceleration, and Brenda know I'm talking about acceleration because Brenda just said the word. So the question y'all gotta ask, why would Brenda cause all that chaos when Brenda know we was talking about acceleration? Because Brenda can't deal with the argument that I made about acceleration. So when you don't want to deal with the argument, you create a smoke screen and get the hell up out of there. I gotta teach y'all what just happened on the show. because it may seem like a big disruptive moment, but that's by design. That's what agents of chaos, they rather do that than be wrong. And they know they wrong, and it's everybody gonna see how wrong they are when they fail to give a counter argument. So instead of saying, you know what, Sanchez, I don't have a counter argument for you, they create a chaotic moment and deflect into the chaos. And that's something I just gotta educate y'all on. But now I'll pass the mic around to my panel. I'm gonna let everyone speak because we pushing 4 hours. So one at a time, and y'all have at it.
Hey, bro, that always happened too. And you're the only person that even let Brenda get back up on the panel, you know, and every time you kill it like that, you know. But I did send that link in the back chat, my brother. For sure. It wasn't even letting me put it in the chat.
But that's what all the globalists are doing. They going on my stuff. They saying it's about acceleration, not speed. Bro, if I'm talking about going from 0 to 2300, that's an acceleration argument. Going from this to that in a certain amount of times. They know that. They don't have an answer for us. But there you go.
Play the volume too, bro, because you under speaking. You kill that shit.
Pearly gates. The word GATES is literally stage. SPAGE. Bro, I'm making a
point. Here just went in. Hold up, that's a bomb. Telling you, man. Listen, when the brother say, everybody on the world stage are acting out a script. And what is that script called? The scripture, the Bible. You think things are happening in the world because the Bible said it. But how about this? People are doing things because the Bible said it. Did you hear what I said, or did I confuse you? You think all of this stuff is happening because it was written in the Bible and it gotta be fulfilled. The truth is, all of this stuff is happening because it was written in the Bible and they gotta fulfill it, just like you said. It means that the people in power are reading the Bible and they're acting out the scripture, the script in real time. And when they act it out on the world stage, you say the prophecy coming true. They're fulfilling the scripture. The world is a big movie.
Pearly gates. The word GATES is literally.
This right here is good stuff, man. Yay,
yes,
bro.
Yes, sir, my brother. You
Hell
did your
yeah,
thing, man. You know what you broke down, plus the gates, and you know what I broke down with the gates and stage. As you can see, this one was going viral as well. You know,
that's
viral,
dope,
my brother. So much respect, bro.
Watch
Thank you for
this.
everything you do.
Gates, stages. Stages take the ST off, ages, because each one of them is a different point in time. Look here, this is deep because now look, gates, stages, each of these gates or stages is a phase of reality. Look, the phases are the different faces we wear. In each of these worlds, we're different us. Phases that we go through up the stairway to heaven are the many faces that we wear. That's yeah.
The word phase. The word phase is shape. You know,
right.
There
we go.
Oh yeah, bro. Because go ahead, bro.
The shape is the ship. But check this out too, because you going in. The layers are the layers. Like a layer is a layer. LAIR is LAY. Yeah, let's do it, man. You got it, bro.
Hell yeah, bro. And even layers are like relay when you passing the baton to the next stage, you know? Oh yeah, bro. Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Especially when you show the relay track, you know, the toroidal field with the layers in between it, 7 lanes. But go ahead.
They said each of these layers, right, is an aura field. Let's pull them up. Watch this. Here go the chakra layers. Each layer is a layer of yourself that exists in an alternative reality. It's another you. We go to these other us's when we dream, basically. So each of these layers is a different you in a different universe. But here go the crazy part about it. These are called auras, right? The ancestors said, well, this is what I'm saying. I can't claim this. In a lot of the ancient cosmology, they teach about the earth being multidimensional, different layers is different realities. You existing on each one. And the Bible say we fell into the flesh by making a mistake. You may say, but how did I make a mistake, man? And I didn't do nothing wrong. Our ancestors had the technology to see the future. You got to ask yourself, if they had the technology to see the future, did they create these simulations so that we can serve our time before? Because this is what y'all got to realize. In our world, if you do the time, you do the crime. In reality, you're doing your time before you ever even manifested the crime, because the ancestors knew the future. And when they was looking at a baby's life play out, they said he's going to make this mistake, that mistake, that mistake. And they let the baby make those mistakes, and they simulated an environment to purge itself of those mistakes. And what if every mistake you made in your life wasn't even real? What if at the end of your life, somebody briefed you to the fact that what you just experienced was a fake simulation, and it was designed for you to make mistakes, but those mistakes wasn't made in our real world? So the whole thing, this is a theory right here. Each one of these worlds, we acting out our karma, which is the Hindu way of saying mastering ourselves, learning to make less mistakes, learning how to drive our vehicle called a body. But when you think of the word mistake, right, it's the word error, E-R-R-O-R, and the word error sounds like the word aura. Our auras are our errors. If you think about what they teach about these different layers of yourself, each of these layers is a version of you in a fallen state that you got to rise out of. So it has certain flaws that you must master each version of the self, according to the Hindu and all that, which make life more interesting, because now it's about you working on yourself, becoming a better person. And there's literally rewards for this. I think the people don't want to be good in this world, because they say, what's the reward of being good? Okay, you go to heaven. What you do in heaven? Sing songs to a dude on a throne all day. Now, they say, what if we can cheat death? I just believe that the incentive to do right according to religious systems on earth, a person to say, I don't know what's worth, man, going heaven or hell, I'm a slave. But check this out. The thing is this, earth is hell, and the whole thing is mastering the body, the self, mind over matter. But the whole thing I said about aura, each of our layers is a skin we got to peel off, like a snake shedding its skin. And so it's like you got these daggers stuck in you. Let me show you the Catholic Church version. They give you this right here. Each of these layers of the self connect to the one spinal cord, and that's why you can get to any one of these layers through meditation. It's like an elevator that connect many floors. But if you look at the man of sin right here, this right here is science. Let me show it to you. This is even in the FBI book, the CIA book, where they show you these chakra layers. Here it go right here. This is the human auric field. Each of these chakras got its own dagger that's sticking through your body. Like you like pierced with all these knives. Just think of a person that's stabbed. You know, when you look at this artwork right here, this is science that the Vatican knows about our energy field. But the word vat, it means a container for energy. Vatican is can in the vat. If you go do the etymology, you will see they're the holders of all our auric energy in this matrix, in this simulation. But the man of sin is basically when Neo is plugged to all of them wires and he's sleeping in the little pod. This is what the Vatican own. They own your sleeping giant. But the moment you wake up, they don't own it anymore. It's like this. We playing a video game, but we don't own the game. The people who own this game, they own your avatar in the game, which is why you can't take your body to heaven with you, because you don't own your body. The people who own this simulation, they created your body as an avatar that they own. We only own our soul. And our soul is plugged into the game and is representing itself through the body, but we don't own its representative. You really own the real you, which is plugged up into a simulation. You on the other side of this simulation, plugged up to a bunch of wires. Let me show you something. The reason Jesus said we gotta be born again is because really this is what we all look like. The reason the earth is called Babylon is because the word Babylon is really baby land. We haven't been born for real. You are a newborn baby, and you are a dreaming baby that's dreaming that you're a grown man right now living a lifetime. When you wake up out of your sleep as a newborn baby in the real world, all of the newborn babies in the real world, they have the knowledge of grown men. What we're calling heaven is an advanced technological simulation where babies are born knowing everything about. What if you came out the womb knowing your whole life from beginning to end, knowing who you are, your purpose and all that? You would say, man, that man's a born God, because guess what? Jesus was born knowing his whole life out from beginning to end. Jesus knew everything about him. Jesus had knowledge of self. That's what God taught. Now watch this. You don't have knowledge of self now because you gotta ascend with that knowledge through the layers of self, through the veil, through the classrooms. These classrooms that you're born into are what you're learning. You're learning the knowledge of self. You don't just get the knowledge, you gotta go through the classes to get it. So life and death is us learning who we are in different realities. When you die in this life, you're gonna become a different version of you in another life, and that version gonna be better than this one. You get better and better every time you die, man. That's why they wanna cheat death, because they wanna hold us down on this flawed version of ourselves. This is not the end you. But check this out, right? When you rip, which is death, they call it RIP, rip, right? We literally snatch these wires out of us on the other side. When you die, everything that's allowing you to experience your reality in your dreaming state as a baby, it's this chakra system. Look at it. Here go the chakra system. This is your voodoo doll. You know how they got the voodoo doll with all the needles in it? This is knowledge of the chakra system. So the Catholic Church know we in the simulation. This is you with your Neuralink on, plugged into the matrix. They call it the man of sin. The word sin is S-Y-N, which is the root word of synth. A synth is an avatar, your synth body. Your synthetic version is not your original version. Your original you is a baby that ain't even been born yet. But you're dreaming of a lifetime here. Why did they do this to us? Because they wanted these babies to wake up with the knowledge of self. All of the babies that's waking up out the matrix on the other side, they ain't making no mistakes like what we making here, because they already made all of their damn mistakes in multiple lifetimes being born over and over in the matrix that they plugged into. So by the time the baby plug and leave the matrix, it done lived so many lifetimes and made so many mistakes in the fake world that it ain't gonna fuck up in the real world. So what we call in heaven is a real world where all of the souls have risen out of the simulation and mastered themselves. And it's a place where no one is making no mistakes. Everybody is perfect. Everybody is the greatest version of themselves because they didn't fall at the top of this mountain. They climbed there. So that's the journey we're on. And you got to do it in darkness. If everyone knew what was going on, then it wouldn't be a real legitimate test. You got to figure this. Once you realize what the earth is, it's because something in you really love truth. Like, you don't figure out the knowledge that I got if you don't fall in love with the truth. And if you don't fall in love with the truth, you don't make it out. The thing that can free, the truth will set us free. And you can't cheat this because the universe know if you like the truth or not. Now, guess what? The truth hurt. That's the thing. Think about this. When a bird is pruning itself, it got to pull out its feathers to grow new ones. Why would a bird go through that pain? A bald eagle. When an eagle is bald, it's because it put out each feather one by one. Do you know how painful that is? Why did the eagle do that? Because the eagle knows that its feathers have collected so much dirt that it has weighed it down. It can't fly as high. The eagles say, listen, my feathers are dirty. And with this dust and dirt on them, I can't fly as high as I want to fly. So the eagle will pluck every feather off itself and become a bald eagle. And when it regrow new feathers, it can fly as high as it wants. What I'm telling you is when the eagle is pulling them feathers out, that is you pulling your wires out of your body. You see this baby? When that baby go to pulling them wires out, it can fly high like the eagle. You see what I'm saying? We're going through the same process of any other thing that's trying to ascend in nature, which is why I can make these comparisons. Everything is trying to get up, like the space program. That's been the knowledge on the earth, to get up out of here. You think about what I'm about to tell y'all, and this gonna make the hairs on your skin stand up. You notice this, right? The truth is embedded in our language. Listen to what I'm about to say. We got to get up out of here. Did y'all peep that? We never say we got to get down out of here. We always say we got to get up, 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 up. Up is heaven. The only way out is up. So even in our language, you don't even think about that because you say it so much. Man, I got to get up out of here. Why put a up in front of it? Why don't you say I just got to get out of here? The concept comes from ancient cosmology, the fact that up was out and down meant that you want to stick around. Like, it's so much that points to this truth. But the whole thing about the baby pulling the wires out to leave the matrix, that's when you separate your soul from your avatar in the game. And the baby pulling them wires out of his body is this image here. When your soul leaves this body, all of these little vortex points that you see going through the spinal cord, they ain't gonna be there no more. They're like needles in a voodoo doll. Somebody gonna pull them needles out the voodoo doll. Each needle, in case y'all don't study voodoo, let me teach you something. Each needle in a voodoo doll, it has a note attached to it. They pinning a note to it. And what they would pin to the voodoo doll was a vice that the person had. So let's say you was lustful and greedy and jealous. They would make a doll out of you and they would pin lust, greed, jealousy. And you know what they would do with the doll? Burn it up. That was a ritual to symbolize you being free of your lust, greed, and jealousy. They would make a miniature representation and destroy those things that you wanted to get out of yourself. And by the mind visualizing a little bitty form of you with your flaws in it being destroyed, it was like that version of you is dying and a new version is being born. This was little magic we used to do. but it represents rebirth, becoming a new version. But we lost the knowledge behind the voodoo doll. I just gave it to you, though. That's my job, ancestral knowledge. So check this out. Purging yourself is what the bald eagle does. Each one of these vortex points represent a deadly sin. The 7 deadly sins, 7 hermetic principles, is 7 wires connected to the voodoo doll that's keeping you inside plugged into the game. And we have to be able to pull out each one, which is why it's called mastering the self. That means your mind has to rise above your lustful nature, your gluttonous nature, your warlike nature. Each of these alphabets represent an instinctive nature that's wired directly to the body, not the spirit. Because the body is created for earthly survival. It's a dog-eat-dog world outside. I want my children to make it home. And if the next man children don't make it home, I'm sad for them, but I'm happy mine made it home. See, that's the instinctive mind. That's your human survival. But the soul don't deal with none of that. That is only relevant in the earth realm. In the real realm, we don't know about scarcity, war, and all that. So the part of us that know the knowledge of the earth is our body. But when the soul separates from the body, it is separating from its gamer body. It's to say this, right? When I'm not playing Madden, I don't got to walk about my day-to-day life with the knowledge of John Madden. But when I play my game at home, then I can get into that knowledge and tap into my gamer experience. But when I'm not playing a game, I'm going to tap into my real life social skills and shit. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to unplug. For people who can't unplug from the gamer experience, they don't get no women. Every time they get in a conversation, it's about Minecraft, Nintendo, PlayStation. You look like a geek. Unplug. And the thing is, in the real world, which is our base reality, you can't go up there with the spirit of a damn gamer. You got to fully unplug to converse with the advanced beings in heaven. And so when a gamer realizes they ain't in the real world, we're in a simulation, you start to unplug. And that's when you start to be born again. And like Jesus said, yeah, you become a baby again. Like Neo in the Matrix. They told him you never used your eyes before because you was using your avatar, gamer's eyes. You were born in a game, Neo. And here is your avatar. Or when you think of a puppet, right, with a bunch of strings attached to it, that's what these chakra wires are. Your body is a puppet. And the mind is what's pulling the strings. So listen, if you don't like what your body doing, you got to get your mind right. Because your body just acting out the will of your mind. So if let me show y'all something while I'm bringing this up. Here is a collage I made to show you what God is. God is the human mind. Look at it. God is guide. It's the thing that's guiding your voodoo doll. The thing that's guiding your soul is the mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. Your thoughts are literally transforming you to the type of creature that you need to be to manifest them thoughts. If you don't like what you're becoming physically, you need to stop thinking a certain way spiritually. Your thoughts are going to manifest outwardly on the surface. You can't hide them because you become your thoughts. Even the Bible know as a man thinketh, so is he. The God is the thing that guides you. It's what drives you every day. If you're a crackhead, I know what your God is. It's that crack pipe. I know what's think about it. A crackhead get up every day and collect trash. They get old furniture and they fix it up and resell it. They do all kind of hustles to get high. And you know what they're driven by. They driven by their next hit. So a crackhead, you can look at them like this. Their body is a voodoo doll or a puppet, and it's doing actions every day. What's driving those actions? The hand up here, which is the mind. The crackhead is thinking, I gotta get high today. And it's getting up, moving its voodoo doll based on that thought. It's gonna create a pattern of actions every day. And it's gonna be hard to get the body to do something different, because just like a puppet, you're used to these same tricks. If you're a ventriloquist and you only know one little script that you do for years, once I try to teach you a new script, it's gonna be that much harder. So the body likes routine. If you smoke cigarettes, if you quit thinking about the cigarette, then the body won't even, out of sight, out of mind. It starts in the mind, which is why the symbol of God was a hand. The symbol of God, one of the oldest symbols of God in the Middle East, was called the hamster hand. This is the puppet master. This represents the third eye, the pineal gland. You can see the eye in the middle of it. It represents the mind inside the brain. It represents this. So the whole thing is this, man, like, this represented the puppet master's hand, the hand that basically rocks the cradle. You're in a cradle right now. Like, you're in a big pod in our real reality. On the other side of this simulation, you're a sleeping baby. So you're basically in a crib or a cradle. But what's rocking this thing is the mind. And if the mind rock this thing strong enough, it'll bust it open and you'll break up out of here because you was thinking too much. All of your deep thoughts about breaking out of here and going to space and seeing the other side, it makes this baby toss and turn in his sleep. When a woman have a baby in her belly and the baby start to kick and move violently, then you know that she's about to have her water break. Now, in this pod, you're submerged in water, right? And the thing is, the more you think and look at the sky and question your way out of here, the more the baby you in the next realm is kicking and snatching these wires out of this pod. So the more, like, that's the whole thing about the quest, is the questions. And the more we ask questions, we start to strip away certain behaviors. Like, we're not as lustful. We're not as greedy. We're not as angry. We start to realize the most important thing is us making it up out of here. So we don't value that much stuff in this earth enough to get angry about it, to lust for it, to be so attached to it like a person that don't know what we know. See, because think about Neo in the Matrix. His whole thing about life was he could have wanted to chase riches and hoes like every other man, but he was chasing knowledge. Neo knew it was something about the Matrix that was fake, something synthetic about it, like Jim Carrey in the Truman Show. They questioned their way out of it. They realized, and if you look at this collage right here, let me show y'all the esoteric knowledge, because a lot of celebrities be talking to us and we don't listen. I had this collage up earlier, and Jim Carrey showed y'all that at the end of the Truman Show. When he made it out the simulation, he stood up at the sky like the God's shoe and opened his hands up. Look at him. Why did he do that when he ascended to the heavens? Look at Moses. Look at Oshun. Look at Yahweh. Look at this collage. Look at Enoch. Everybody, when they break out, they lift their hands up, touchdown, you landed at home. Like that's why we do this when they score a touchdown. So the whole thing, crossing over to the end zone, but it's a lot of science to the stuff we do. For example, in baseball, they catch the white ball in a glove. Catching that white ball in a glove, go back to this right here, the hamster hand. This hamster hand shaped like a baseball glove. And in the middle of it is your soul, that I. That's the white ball right there, caught in the glove, which is the brain. It's so much knowledge. Even if you look at a baseball field, it's set up like the universe, and the bat is the 1, the ball is the 0, binary code, the phallus and the vagina. When you come together, home run, knock it out the park. This is sets magic. Y'all don't want to get me started though. Don't get me started, because everything ties to everything and they don't want you to know it. There was one truth on the earth that was told in many ways. But again, we had 4 hours. I wish I can go for 5 hours, but I can't. I'm glad I was able to put some spiritual ancestral knowledge into this, which y'all will go deeper into the future.
Yes, sir. You did your thing too, my brother. You know, you broke it all the way down. But like you said, it's 4 hours. We'll definitely catch up again, my brother.
Hell yeah, man. Peace and much love to all of y'all. I'm going to have future live streams where we just go into the symbolism, the esoteric knowledge of the simulation. It's deeper than flat earth. It's holographic earth. The word physical has to be done away with. You are light that are fading. You are a flash of light that's fading in and out of a holographic simulation, and you're calling it life and death. But there's nothing can hold a so-called physical form. Everything here fades away because everything here is a hologram, and it's light. It's like if you burn any light or a candle, it'll fade out for a certain amount of time. So just to bring this home, you can see the Pharaoh here with the rays of light touching his body. That's the knowledge of the simulation, which is to say we are all voodoo dolls. And that the Most High is the mind over matter. Our mind exists in a different dimension than our body. Our thoughts don't exist on the earth, but our body do, if that makes sense. So the hand represents the mind, and the body is just a puppet on the stage bound to your own mental paradigm. You can't change who you are on the ground till you change who you are in the heavens, as above, so below. If you don't like what your puppet doing on the stage, you need to change what your mind doing in the darkness, because your puppet is only moving the way that the hand above it is doing, and that hand represent the thought patterns you having. This was the knowledge before they corrupted it, but we'll continue this some more, guys. This is true Gnosticism, and you're rocking with your ancestral teacher of ancestral knowledge, Bro Sanchez. And you rocking with my family of bright minds, and we'll see y'all on the next one, man. We out. Appreciate your panel. And before I go, I'm going to read the Cash Apps as promised. Shout out to Marlon Wells. Sent in a Cash App, man. I appreciate the love, Marlon. Shout out to DeFi Ramsey. Said Brenda was killing me, man. Brenda got to go. I told him, like, Brenda we got to really sponsor them shows, because I'm going to go to bed with a headache. Shout out to Sterling Lewis and Jamal. Shout out to Awakening Minds. Thank y'all for these Cash Apps, everybody. Shout out to Robert Robinson, Gerald Broughton, Jesse Jones said, if Kid God, what's good? Oh, okay. It's Kid God. What's good? Gotcha. Kid God. Hey, appreciate y'all. Shout out to Nicholas Kisayak, Saifi Danzi. I probably butchered that one. Thank y'all so much for these Cash Apps. Shout out to Sherwin Lane and to Yo. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to respond to each Cash App with a heart, because Cash App will let you respond with a heart. Shout out to William Lumpkin as well. I'm going to keep bringing y'all quality content. Appreciate the support. Peace and much love. If you send in a Cash App after the show, it still will be responded to with a heart, and I'll read it even if I'm not live. So thank you to my Patreons, channel members, and Cash App supporters, PayPal supporters, however you support. Peace and much love. Hold up before we go. I forgot. I see. Let me give a shout out to Juan Serrano. Let's give a shout out to my people's Resonating Truth. Make sure y'all subscribe to Resonating Truth's channel because they do a lot of great shorts and short form content of these long streams. So that is more shareable. Shout out to Chuck Spears as well. Thank y'all all for these super chats. I don't want to miss nobody. Shout out to Flat Out Fudge if I didn't shout you out. Thank y'all.